Great people doing extraordinary things. Irie FM, I can hear you. Irie FM, I can hear you.
Yeah. This is not a you I say. Irie FM is roots rock reggae. Hear this? And all them other liquid stations, what me say?
Irie FM wishes to advise that the views expressed on the Cutting Edge are not necessarily those of the company.
Reggae in the morning. Reggae in the evening.
Yes, good night and welcome to Irie FM, The Cutting Edge. Tonight we'll be discussing a most important topic. In fact, one of the most popular plants in the world. And in the studio tonight we have Dr. Green, Dr. Arthur Green, medical doctor. Dr.
Greetings,
Green.
Brother Louis.
Yes, and Rasa V from Westmoreland, Independent Ganja Farmers Association. Yes.
Good thanks, you know.
And then we'll have online Ras Amin, Center and Independent Growers Association. We'll also speak to Barbara Blake. But I think even before we start, if you can get the gist of the argument, is that we are talking about independent. We are talking about people farming from the ground up and not from up down. And we want this point to be taken significantly. Before we get into the kind of formalities and discussion, and even to introduce the history, because it is going to be very important, I want us to look on a few newspaper articles that came out recently between March and April. And I want us to look at April, for example. For some reason, there was a significant amount of newspaper articles. Some of these things, it's only the guests with me inside the studio will see, and in terms of the cartoon and stuff. But there was a letter to the editor, March 2014, by Ed McCoy. Argue for ganja law knowledgeably. And I think that this is significant. Because what we have over the years, 100 years of anecdotal details. Now, for some reason, Dr. Ferguson, I don't support ganja smoking. And he was talking in relation to his cigarette smoking thing. But I think that one of the best things that Dr. Ferguson could really do about this thing is not whether he smokes or not. Because I was saying to my brothers here tonight that if we are going to have a discussion on ganja, and all we can look on is ganja smoking, then it can't be important. Now, Golden, the Minister of Justice, very interesting over the years. First, we saw the police, the church that was responsible for the law. Then we saw the police and the residence magistrate. Then next thing we saw was the Ministry of Health. And then it moved now to Ministry of Justice. And I'm hoping that this transformation will be a reflection of the kind of justice that we want to discuss along with the other economic benefits tonight. Now, the other side of the ganja, the ganja gold coin is Mr. Gomez. But it's not really the article I'm interested in. I'm really interested in the other side of the discussion, you see? Because task force sees bright future for ganja industry. This is a task force based in Kingston. And this task force now is looking about having discussion about ganja industry. Now, immediately following that article, and the brothers inside the thing here, this is an Observer, Rasavi, the Observer cartoon. I don't know if you saw it when it came out. But this cartoon came out shortly after the Ganja Futures Association was launched. And what it has the government whipping people to produce ganja, and there's a ship with a banner, Ganja Futures Growers Association, outside here, a kind of pirate style situation, like, if you understand. So what we're seeing is the kind of development. Good. Now, after all of this, because we saw the thing launch this Saturday morning and we talk more about that, UWI signs MOU for medical marijuana research with this group from Colorado. I'm going to have one question to ask. If anybody knows about this group. Because we must be very careful when we are going to sign agreement. Now, importantly, we were trying to get Mr. Lockhart, very significant person in our discussion tonight. We're not able to get his phone number. If anybody knew, and if he's still up, he could call into IRFM, because he made a ganja alert just when he saw what was going on after the Futures thing and said, look here, let us ensure that these foreign-based drug companies do not come here and monopolize up the situation, and it is very important. And why it is very important for Dr. Lockhart, because the drugs that he has made over the years from ganja, that he was never able to get to license or to patent these drugs. Good? And I think that it is very important, even medical practitioners, to look now and see how they can encourage this local production here for our own use. Of course, I remember 13th of February 2014. I don't know if you came to the meeting, Ras Ivy, but the meeting was at the University of the West Indies, where this idea about the Futures Association was discussed. And one of the first things I said in my opening statement is that we could never proceed any ganja conference or meeting without paying tribute to Peter Tosh.
True. Definitely.
True. His national and international campaign.
True.
The man was paid price for this kind of thing. And another thing, you know, that we need to give respect, because sometimes you see, and one of the most serious things in this country too, is not what he said, you know, is who said. And here's a significant person that we have. Not only about ganja, but is a young Jamaican who had serious philosophical concerns the way in which he expressed himself. And I hope that the young people will try to study and get something from him. Just recently from Bermuda, we see Bermuda Task Force recommend decriminalization of ganja, and government should take immediate action to enable access to medical cannabis with a prescription. Now, my brothers, I even say this even before we start, just to whet our appetite to see what we can have in our opening statements, just to look at what is taking place in Jamaica. And later we are going to look at the broader world. But just to introduce our discussion, I was heartened before coming here tonight by the Dean Jackson's program Beyond the Headlines. I was looking on this thing on Guinean weed. And I'm glad I saw it. And for some reason, things always work out good. When I came and I saw Ras Ivy, I said, Ras Ivy, I am so glad for this ganja debate, because one of the things it is going to do is that, one, we are going to raise our discussion on important issues to a higher level. And this issue about ganja is so popular, the plant, the smoking, manufacturing, that at every community level, we would like to encourage this discussion. So it is going to be like a river with many tributaries as it goes right out into the sea.
Yes.
Because we want to say to people, say, the same enthusiasm that we are going to have for our history, our science towards ganja, we need to apply it to other plants. I am saying, let us use this ganja issue to mobilize a popular discussion regarding national development in Jamaica and a new era for human rights given the law. My position is neither legalization nor decriminalization. And I want to be very clear. My position is that this law is a racist law. The foundation upon which this law is built, what it has done today, it brings into our presence the past atrocities, the past victimization, and we see how this has been applied by the police force over the past 100 years. Brothers, give us your introductory statement. Yes.
Yeah, give thanks, you know. And I really want to say it's a pleasure being here with the man and with Dr. Green, you know.
Yes, yes.
Because as you know, for years, I as Rastafari, and I have been agitating for the decriminalization. Peter took it further and said, legalize it, right? Well, I know it one step at a time, and I know the government would never want to just legalize it. But so I have been agitating for decriminalizing it, right? Now, I have been looking at it not just from the recreational, where them say the smoking or the sacramental aspect of, you know, I as Rastafari, but also the medicinal aspect. And this, as you point out, not much attention was being paid to it. Even when Peter Tosh was singing, it's good for cancer, it's good for glaucoma, and so on and so on.
Very well.
You know what I mean?
Very
so
well.
it's like what you say, it's not what is being said, but who is saying it. So unless it is being said from some people in the sky or some people from abroad.
Some white people come in.
Yes. You understand me? You don't tend to recognize who you have here in this country saying it. Like I have been saying it to the government, past and present, decriminalize herb, just like the other plants. And I have been saying the research, the scientific research center that you have up there, it should be doing research into our natural herbs. Because I come up and say, if your belly hurt you, I mean, old people know what you go do. Your head hurt you, and tell us, go get one guinea hen root and beat it up and smell it and to the headache gone. So obviously, there are medicinal properties in these plants that we spit on, we pee on, we walk on, but not until some people come from abroad and say, look here, this is so on and so on. Then we realize that what we have is good. Guinea hen, all right, look at Noni.
Yes.
Look at Noni. We used to call Noni Duppy Sawasap. Right? We never pay no attention to it until we start learning the medicinal value. The same thing can be said, well, with people used to use guinea hen, but we never know because we weren't looking at it from no scientific point of view. We were just looking at it from the traditional usages.
And matter of fact, it don't really smell too nice.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of things that, and I hope that we can engage, you know, the public, the listenership as we go along.
So the first major point, though, is that neglect in terms of the scientific application and concern.
Sure.
That neglect itself set us back. And it is done not by a scientific position, but a discriminatory position.
Exactly.
Good? All right, we'll have Dr. Green come in, and then later, Russ, you know, we get the stuff one by one.
Yeah,
Yes,
brethren, respect to the Bush doctor for the work that he has done. And also the medical doctors, I mentioned, Dr. Albert Lockhart.
Oh, yes, sir, and Dr. Ronald Lampard, who is right now in the Princess Margaret Hospital.
Yes.
We send our spirits to him to give him strength.
Give him
yes,
strength.
Yes,
there.
Rasa V has worked with him over the years.
Dr. Manley West.
Yes, and Professor Manley West.
Yeah.
You know, great pharmacologist. And these men, African men, took it on a scientific level. And as in the late 60s, early 70s, did a lot of research and work. And, you know, working off the basis of the anecdotal evidence of people coming and telling them the effects and the benefits, they now put it to the scientific test in the lab and came up with the evidence that what they were saying was true, that there were certain active principles within this herb having medicinal benefits, you know, popular among which were glaucoma, which, you know, glaucoma is an interesting condition, you know, because it not only affects us as Africans earlier, but when it takes us, it is more severe. And it causes blindness even quicker.
Yes.
So for something as dangerous as that, and in a country where diabetes is rampant, which can also damage the sight, such a combination you can see is going up with a blind population. So the fact that the herbs, the active ingredient there, you know, they came up with a thing they call Canasol.
Yes.
Which was very effective.
Yes. There was one for the eye, and there's one for asthma.
Asthma salt.
Asthma salt.
Which was useful for the asthma. And they came up with one even for the nausea and the vomiting, which they call the Canavert.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
We take a break to give you something that is urgent. Firefighters are now battling a fire at the Norman Manley International Airport it's the Sangsters International Airport, Montego Bay, St. James. The fire broke out at the Aegis Limited Crew room near to the maintenance area and the Island Grill restaurant. The blaze started at 8 o'clock. About 5 units from St. James Fire Department and an additional 4 units from the Montego Bay MBJ Limited Emergency Response Team are battling the blaze. We hope that they'll get rid of that fire, but I just can recall Bob and the fire burning. It is not to ridicule the fire itself, but Rasavi, I couldn't help remember fire burning.
So,
yes, Doctor. Yes.
Yeah, so, a lot of research has gone there, and empirically, when you look at an herb, such as, they call it cannabis sativa, and, you have the different species, indica, ruderalis, and so on. These things have active products there that can affect us positively, and even in recent times, in North America, there now you see that some conditions such as epilepsy, which can be a very crippling, life-threatening condition.
Yes.
Only now, Peter had mentioned these things earlier.
Yes.
Only now they have come to the evidence that, of a fact, when all the other pharmaceutical drugs failed, that the active ingredients, what you call the THC or the CBD, that is the tetrahydrocannabinol, and the carbamidinol.
Well,
these could effectively bring about some resolution to such a life-threatening condition.
Yes, 1999, I remember having a controversial discussion with Dr. Wendell Abel on health concern, mental health, etc., that we'll get into later. But it is important that the other day, Dr. Abel and myself, we were at a certain political party headquarters giving a discussion on ganja. And it was such pride to hear him talk about his development.
Oh.
Good. And the enlightenment. The very same year he went to the US, where he really understood that there's no causal relationship between ganja and insanity. You see, I will say to people, what is the color of the sea? And they said to me, blue. I said, very good. I said, I want you to go to the sea, and I want you to take up the water and to see if it's blue. And I said, this is going to be your first lesson in perception and reality. You said to me that all the people you know smoke ganja, they're either worthless or they're third mad. And I said, look, you can't just look on something and make an association and things like that, but very significant.
Definitely, because it is ridiculous, really, that you could see a natural plant and classify it as a drug. That doesn't make any pharmaceutical or any logical sense.
No, but at the same time, just to add to what you're saying, even if we could go into the history, probably 6,000 years BC, there's been a history of ganja, marijuana in terms of health thing.
Yeah.
And let me add to it, I'm not the medical doctor like you, I was given a historical kind of thing, right? Because, you see, there's a work in Jamaica done by Rubin and Comitas. Ganja smoking in Jamaica, University of the West Indies.
68 to 74.
Yes.
Right.
It is one of the most comprehensive study of ganja in the world.
Right.
And because them never find anything bad.
Then stop it.
They don't stop it. It is there. But nobody don't look at it and see. One of the things I found out that was very important is what they found out about the Indian Hemp Commission in the late 1890s.
1896.
Good?
Yeah.
Yes. That when you look on the Indian hemp, after they give it thing now and they say, look here, they find this thing in Chinese, or you pronounce this thing
pharmacopoeia.
Yes.
Pharmacopoeia, right? 6,000 years BC. And in describe it as stimulating euphoric properties. The sacred grass in the Hindu spiritual tradition. And when Rastafarians speak about it's also in Muslim tradition too.
Yes.
So this whole thing of his relationship as a spiritual thing has been thousands of years ago.
Yes.
Not just yesterday. So I think not what we need.
And not to cut
Yes.
you, Louis.
Yes.
Remember, are the many names that herb is referred by,
Yes.
But look at the word Kali. Because we come here, Kali and Kalibod and,
Mm-hmm.
But when in the research that I have done now, the Indians, as it is known, are largely responsible for bringing herb. Whether it was here before or not, but they attach Indian and herb to Indian.
Yeah, Kochi.
Right?
The
but
pipe.
Kali.
Yes.
Kali is an Indian
Goddess, yes.
of love.
Right, right. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Right? So, as you say, it is said that Buddha used to use herb. Krishna, all of these spiritual people used to use herb.
They said it was Lord Shiva who brought the herbs from the Himalayas into the lower ground. So that thing, and as we look at it generally and look at it historically, that there has always been root in terms of spirituality.
Yes.
And we say this because people must understand this. And you see why this has to be clear? I was saying to you that recently, I said to somebody that Jamaica don't even make the top 10% of ganja producer in the world. I said, well, we think we're number one. Exactly. He said, no, because when we have discussion in this country, we're so parochial that we think it's only we alone exist. And later on, we look at some of the countries in terms of what they're doing. But these are some of the things that came out at the Indian Commission that I thought I would mention, because, you see, these things have been hidden.
Yes.
Good? And the only thing that we know about ganja is the discriminatory views by the elite class who see ganja as the drugs of the lower class. In fact, in the Indian Commission, the Indian higher class say that opium is our drug. Our ganja is a drug of the lower class. Yeah. And in fact, the name ganja, as I get it from the historical book, came from the word ganjari, which means the lower class Indian workers. Just to attach to what you said regarding Kali, Indian and stuff like that. Because I got into the history of ganja by studying the history of Leonard P. Oil and the emergence of the Rasta movement. And what I started to do now was now when I look and see there's an Indian family from Seaforth or Duckenfield that made some link with oil. Because what we're looking at now, is between 33 and 39 in St. Thomas. Mm-hmm. And by the time you go to Pinnacle, you had full-blown ganja farms and stuff like that. So you must learn it from somewhere.
Sure. Yes.
No, I can only say that tonight, one of people in St. Thomas, because one don't know, so we always in a history from Paul Bogle to that time and now all the time. So we're going to do that, right? We're going to hear some of the other people just after we take this commercial break.
To our side.
Music, reggae music, as far as I can see, I see.
Yes, good night. Welcome back to the Cutting Edge. I'm Louis Marston, sitting in for Muta Baruka. Muta is in Gambia. He's traveling Africa, Gambia, the Senegal, and Ghana. And we wish Muta the best, and we hope that he will bring back the stories as he always share with the public. And, welcome back to the discussion on ganja. It's the most popular plant in the world. It's the most popular symbol in Jamaica. And we are going to look at some of the historical background, moments of persecution, and then we'll also look at the 72 period in which we saw the new thrust in terms of medical research in Jamaica. But at the same time, we have to kind of heal some of the people, the people in St. Anne, the people in, Orange Hill, in Brownstone, Virgin in Alexandria, I don't know, the man them in Abukar. Them places there, because, Rasavi, we have to give St. Anne some respect tonight.
Yeah, man, it kick ass the business.
Yes, man. I say, yeah, man. The best one, Colway Castle, man.
Yeah, man.
Man. All of that year, the man them. Right now, in St. Elizabeth, we want to deal with the man them, right, in art and stuff like that. Babu, the thing don't go already and thing. And at Kingston, just my brethren, them I deal with in a Grand Spen, Mason Bush and people, because these things affect the lowest people in this country. Sure. So why I mention, I can't forget the people also in Morgan's Pass in Clarendon and other people, St. Thomas, you don't know it already. Everybody over, just call everybody, because what we want to do tonight is that this is a public education thing. Good? And we want people to call, people to get into public education, because when we're having discussion, one of the things I admire about Mr. Owell, him say, when you as Rastafarian having discussion, it must be intelligent and you must be diplomatic with it.
Exactly.
In this country, we love quarrel too much.
Yeah.
A man will oppose something because he does not like you. He has no other reasons. Good? And this is one of the things that came out tonight already, when you ask a question about if this thing had so much great qualities, why we never explore it in terms of the medicinal aspect of it, even that if they could have allowed that to really go through.
Sure.
And this is a wickedness of the system, and this is what I'm saying to you, that this 1913 ganja law is a racist law. It was built on a foundation that discriminate against black people.
And non-white people.
Right.
Sure.
It was built out of fear. It was built at a time when the church lost its moral authority on the country and trying to fight back. Now, some people might say that, why call this thing racist, everything racist? One of the funny things about our history now is that the history of the country is race. It was race that brought us here.
True.
And a race that got saved it.
True. Yeah.
Good? And we have to be serious about it and know, so when we talk, we can't just hide things. Because if the something is wrong, we have to clear it up. This law is racist. The second ganja law in the world, 1923, came from Canada. A woman wrote a book named Black Candle. And she says black people and non-white people bringing drugs to destroy the white race in Canada. 1933, United States. One of the most significant law against ganja, the 1933 Marijuana Tax Act.
Yes.
It came out because they say the Mexicans were bringing this thing to destroy their country.
The Chicanos.
Yes, the Chicanos. Very well. Good. And at the same time, the war against drugs now located that black people were the biggest consumers. That kind of situation. So race tying to this kind of thing. So when we look at it now, what the church did, and we want to understand this kind of thing, the church wrote the law in 1913 and took it to the Legislative Council. And they did it because there was an opium conference that took place. What was the nature of this law now? Cultivation and importation punishable by fine up to £100 or prison up to 12 months. Good? Now, I want you to think about £100 in 1913.
Wow.
Which black man? Which poor black man? Even the peasant, middle class, farmer, so to speak, to go in his pocket for £100. This is a law inspired by the church. The Council of Evangelical Churches in Jamaica, 1913. Then them come and them say, no, the law not strong enough. And they go back. 24 to 25, there was another international drug conference. And they used that occasion to say, let us amend this law. This time, it no name 1913 ganja law, It named the 1924 dangerous drugs law. Dangerous. Good? But see how them dangerous now? First conviction. Can remember, it was just cultivation and importation. So we've seen other things now. First conviction for cultivation, possession, sale, or smoking, up to 6 months in prison and or fine of £100. So that was left to the discretion of the judge. Whether it is 6 months, 12 months, or fine, you're talking about taking a man out of him family for 6 months for a plant, a little bag, a herb sometime. Now, I want you to understand what has been happening now. between 1924 and 1941. Leonard P. Owen started the Rastafarian movement 1933, April 19, Trintyville, St. Thomas. He moved from Trintyville to Seaford to Morant Bay, set up him headquarters, Kings of Kings headquarters, Harbour Head Road, Port Morant. The movement took off. The man was significant that at each meeting that him have, majority of the people left there as his followers. That created a threat. Somehow by 1934, Governor Denham made a link between ganja smoking Rastafarians out there in Morant Bay, who said they wanted to go back to Africa. But this thing is going to be important now, because what we started to see now was from that time, Rastafarians now became an unfair target. Good? True. 19 March or August 1934, big picture of the ganja plant, the crime plant. When you smoke it, you see red. The Gleaner now started to lead the campaign. November 1934, what did we see? The white elites, they all met in Portland, Hector's River. This ganja issue, they said, was the root for all crime in this country. I want to pause, for us to look on this thing, People use ganja as a scapegoat for crime. It has been so from 1913 right up to 1963-64 period. Good? So we never get a chance to study what are the factors associated with crime in this country, because ganja has been used as that kind of stuff.
Exactly.
Good? The next thing that we look at now was that after 1938, the government developed a commission to investigate investigation into the uprisings. And them said, look and find if you can't find ganja link with it, because when black people smoke ganja, them get violent. No, these people are disrespectful. That in Jamaica, there has been a history of resistance against oppression.
Exactly.
And that continued into 1938. And out of order to come to tell us that is ganja people smoke, for one of the most important historical situations in this country, it is something that we will never appreciate and never accept, and this is why this law must go. We need a new legal regime, because I am calling on these young people at the University of the West Indies and the other law school, let me say a proper about the place. We need to start study about legal philosophy and this kind of things as we go forward. Now, so in 1941, what we saw was a brutal, dangerous drug law that came around. This time it is mandatory imprisonment. The first time in the history of jurisprudence in Jamaica that there is this mandatory kind of situation. And you notice it is after the crisis with Howell, the Rastafarian and the state. So we come right up now to 1948 again, it was amended, but 1961 to 1964 now, it is even getting more serious now. Because the Henry Uprising, the Coral Gardens, and this is where that we will come. 1972 now was a period in which some sanity was brought in after the Manley election. Every man in prison for a spliff get let out. And then later now we'll talk about how that period now, we saw at least a little bit of light regarding research on ganja and stuff like that. And the Rasa V, was expressing something earlier regarding the oppressive nature. And this is why Rasa V, first and foremost, it is not just about ganja medicine and ganja money. There's a human rights issue that we have in this country with ganja that we want to speak to us.
Because look at it now, Louis. It is said constitutionally, right, both from the United Nations Charter point of view and from the Jamaican constitutional point of view, that every man, every individual is entitled to freedom of religion, freedom of belief, freedom of expression, right? Yet I and I as Rastafarian, I and I have declared a plan to be of our sacrament, not something man-made, not a jug. In the church, they use the bread and the wine, and that is legal, right? Now, I and I have given to the world a plan saying that this is, yet constitutionally, I and I have never been able to enjoy I and I rights. We have always been persecuted. It is the herb that has been used as a gateway by the system over these years to persecute Rastafari, right? Now, I and I are saying, as Rastafarians, that when we look back even at the history, when we go back to the Indian Hemp Commission, when we go back to the LaGuardia Commission,
yes,
in 1942,
yes,
right?
Yes.
All right. It is said up to 1930s, you know, herb was used to treat more than 100 different illnesses in America, you know. Mm-hmm. It is also said that when black people and the Mexican, the Chicanos, used the herb, because it was said that black people were not supposed to look up at white people. They was not even supposed to walk on a white man's shadow, right? So it is said that when the Chicano use the herb, they become insolent. Them don't want to call back a man from Mr. and so on and so on and so on. So laws were enacted to the point that the black man was not considered to be a man. He was considered to be 3/5 of a man. Right? So as you rightfully point out, and this is an issue that our people really don't want, especially those who are in charge of the system. You don't want our people to be reminded of the level of racism that exists here in Jamaica, right? To the point that not even we've been given the picture of Christ looking white, we've been given the angels looking white, but we've been given the devil looking black. And if we should even contest it or try to discuss it, the first thing them saying, you're racist. If you even ask the question, was Christ white or black, you are racist. But they don't look at it as being racist when the picture of Christ was given to us as being white and the angels white and the devil black. So this is a reality that our leaders have, in other words, even in the churches today, even if a preacher is there preaching and he realizes that from a biblical description, Christ could not have been a white person, he's not going to preach that, because he knows that if he preaches that, by the end of his sermon, he'll lose 90 or 95% of the congregation. So this is something that our youths need to come face to face with and accept the reality that we're living in a racist country, that we're still living where black, you stay back, brown, you stick around, white, you right. So anything that relates to the philosophy, to the culture and to the tradition of black people is always going to be looked down on. And that is the situation that we are faced with, even when it comes to ganja from that time until today. It's only because now that they realize that some money business now, some money can be made, why you see everybody come and jumping up on this bandwagon. But we have news for them.
Yes, you know, when you talk about the Indian Hemp Commission, because this is where Dr. Green will come in terms of the implication for Dr. Lockhart and Manley West's product and how their own medical situation in Jamaica can help to kind of do that kind of stuff. One of the things they found out at that Indian Hemp thing, you see, it was used as a poultice for wound, and also a prophylactic that is protecting against infection. Yes. And then they use against malaria, as a vermifuge, medication to get rid of worms. Good. A cure for leprosy. Good. And they said to correct derangement of humor of the mind. But I think what derangement of humor of the mind mean probably is insanity in terms of the language of that time. At another level now, they say no, it sharpens the memory. It sharpens the wit. It stimulates mental power. It is refreshing and stimulating. It alleviates fatigue, creates capacity for hard work, inspires ability to concentrate, and that it gives pleasurable sensation so that one is at peace with everybody. And then out of all of this evidence, people are saying to you that people are violent when they smoke herb. Now, I will tell you this. Alcohol is one of those factors that make anybody, drive anybody to be violent. In fact, in Israel, they did a test, 2 sets of person, one with alcohol and one with ganja. The one with alcohol now was boisterous, they be violent. When they drive reckless. The one with ganja was calm and drove cautiously. Later on, we are going to talk about the 100 years people have been telling no propaganda. So no one to know that if the youth them wanna go have in a Jamaica, go and go smoke ganja because it might become legal if you're worried about that. If you're worried about ganja not making you do schoolwork and stuff like that. If you're going to worry about if it's going to make you have accident and stuff, these are certain things that we are going to discuss as we proceed into the night because these things are important too. True. But one of the things that we found out, that there are more people smoking ganja in countries that it is illegal than countries that it is legal. For example, there's something I think about Iran. Good? Iran, they tolerate it. Smoking, growing, planting and stuff like that. Yet only 2% of people in Iran smoke it. They found out this, they found the same thing in places like Netherlands, in Italy.
Yeah.
Good? But when they compare to US and Canada, they found a higher percentage.
True.
But one of the things, before we deal with some of that kind of stuff, because I think it is very important that we look at what is going on worldwide. Because sometimes, as I said, people only think that it is in Jamaica things are happening. We want to discuss some of the reasons why other countries have moved out of this kind of thing, and we will deal with that. But I think it is important coming from Rasa Vito, now Dr. Green, regarding what are the implications now for this medical research, but also we have drugs that has been produced by it. What is going to happen to that drugs now and how we are going to proceed forward?
Yeah, definitely. Well, as you will recall, Professor Manlewis and Lockhart in the early 70s with their research, despite the successes that they had, clinically proven successes, they met with a lot of railroads and obstacles, Granted, they were supported by the administration to a large extent, but when it comes to the patenting and so on, and to try to project themselves into the wider, especially North American market, they were given a warm time. They were,
they couldn't get into
the market. Get into penetrate it.
Because it's not patented.
It's not patented. Nevertheless, it was able to benefit us in the Caribbean. Cuba, Antigua, Trinidad, and so benefited from this research. And it has proven the beauty of these things, as I mentioned.
What are the two products that
well, look at these products now.
Yes.
Canasol, that is the treatment for glaucoma. And you have the Asthmasol for asthma. It's helping with the acute attacks and the chronic attacks. And you have the Canavert. Now, this is for any type of, people taking medication for leukemia and cancers. These type of chemotherapy have some serious side effects, leading to nausea, vomiting, and so on. And this Canavert was one of the products from the ganja that was able to mediate and to neutralize these bad effects.
Okay. What about the cost now in terms of the traditional medicine and those drugs?
Well, traditional medication, like for glaucoma, for example, they were very expensive and they had also some very unpleasant side effects. Mm-hmm. These side effects were not noted at all with the Canasol. So that was an additional benefit there to it. Interestingly enough, from a general point of view of this herb, we should look at it, the hemp seed is invaluable. It contains as high as 21% protein, one of the highest in the plant world.
So we're talking about food production.
Food production there.
Yes.
It also has a high content of essential fatty acids. For example, the gamma-linolenic acid is found nowhere else except from mother's milk. Mm-hmm. And this is essential for the brain development, the neural development and stabilization. So even from that point alone, another empirical point you could look from it just as a botanical plant. You know that this plant is a plant that provides its own herbicide and weedicide.
Yeah.
As it grows, it naturally prevents the bugs from attacking it, and it also keeps away shrubs from underneath it.
Okay, let me just say this. I heard the scientists from Scientific Research Council saying to Jackson Miller, said, how do you know that this thing here, Guinean, was good? Inside Guinean, what they did was they started to use it to make insect repellent. So whenever there's a plant that can repel insect, they say that there's great potential for medicine. That is so correct.
To segue from what you were saying, you remember you mentioned the 1930s, the Marijuana Tax Act.
Yes, yes.
While it was used as an oppression here, and as what Rasavi said, and use it as a gateway to, terrorize us.
Yes.
They're now claiming it as a gateway drug and so on. But that is a fallacy, as you said. The tobacco research and the alcohol research is there.
Mm-hmm.
But the Marijuana Tax Act, what was in the looming behind it was Hearst and DuPont.
Yes.
They were coming on stream, and they didn't want to see the industrialization now of the hemp, which would burst out of proportion. And, so they would, and they didn't want to see the industrialization now of the hemp, which would burst out of proportion. And, so they would now sink it to empower themselves.
So Hearst and DuPont were the pharmaceutical company.
Right.
That's
and
right. They engaged the FBI, and at the time it was the Federal Bureau of Narcotics.
Right. Which would later come to the DEA.
DEA.
Right. So these are the political implications that involved with the use of it. It's very interesting.
Well, I tell you that because if we're looking on watershed in the history of this ganja marijuana thing globally, I think both the 1933 Tax Act and the 1970s Nixon's a war against drug. And again, that when we go back also to President Reagan in the 1980s war against drug, what we see now is that many of the countries in South America and Central America now are saying that the war against drug is so costly for them.
True.
That what they are going to do is to make this thing illegal so we can take out both the cost and criminality.
True.
Right? So what we saw, when we look all over the world, there are many countries now over the world that are changing their laws, developing the thing. And as we were discussing earlier, if some people do it for different reasons. Some people are saying that there's so much crime associated with this thing in terms of gangs. You look to Italy, you look to Mexico and stuff like that, and I said, look here, we have to get this thing illegal and the government will regulate it. Yeah? Mm-hmm. Good. What we saw in Canada the other day, they said, why they have this change now to have state farms? Is because the home-based growing thing, it started to be penetrated by that kind of situation. But what is important is countries now looking at their budget. Not only in terms of making money, because little more we can look and see how much money Colorado is saving.
Yes.
Little more we can look and see Canada, and we will discuss that after we come from the commercial break. Louis Marston in for Mutabaruka, who is on an African tour in studio. Dr. Green, Ras IFV, online, Barbara Blake. Barbara, good night.
Hey, good evening, Louis. Blessings, Ras IFV, Dr. Green.
Greetings, Sister Makeda.
Yeah.
Blessings.
Good. I hear that you have something to share with us tonight, Barbara.
Yes, very much, Louis. I've been a ganja activist for about 40 years from when I was just Barbara Blake, yes.
Right.
Been Barbara Blake on for 28 years. You're from when, and those times you were just Mr. PNPYO. That's you're taking an active interest in Rasta affairs nowadays.
That's right.
Basically, I, had intended to really stay out of this debate now. As I said, been working at it for about 40 years now. I thought I'd take a rest. But noticing the various steps that are being taken, I and a group of people really see a lot that remains to be done and isn't being done. So we all got together and made a petition that we've put online about some steps that we'd like to see taken in the actions for legalization. I didn't realize this was going to be a discussion about the history of ganja. I thought you were more going to talk about what's happening with the current campaign. But I'm glad to have an opportunity to explain what our petition is all about.
Yes.
Basically, first of all, what we are saying is the most important step to be taken is that the records must be wiped. Wipe the records. The real issue with ganja in Jamaica has been the fact that its illegal status has been such a disadvantage. As you say, the law has been very disadvantageous to the people. And not that I would call it racist. I would say it's more keeping people back. It's had such a bad effect on the lives of so many families by providing a record for the chief breadwinner, preventing the chief breadwinner from earning a living either in Jamaica or abroad. So we would like to see the government take certain steps, which it has the power to do, to wipe the records as a first step to legalization. And then we talk about really trying to see that the ganja money is not the income from ganja is not just left in the hands of political persons or appointees of either party, but that it be administered by an independent body set up. And we are recommending that certified accountants should be the head persons in this, because it's money that we're talking about. Ganja has always been about money. And we're really saying that if that is so, we'd prefer to see the money in the hands of people who know how to deal with, counting your taxes and seeing it gets paid, supervising the legalization, the issuing of certificates for the legal production of ganja by small, medium, and large growers, providing a way that ganja profits can be put in the banks. I don't think that is possible at the moment. Have those laws been looked at? We don't hear anything about this. And also the most important law of all is, what about the treaty that we signed with the U.S. way back in the 70s? What's being done about that? We are really concerned because we see a lot of gaping holes. Today I got an invitation for a conference that's going to be held next week on ganja at the university. But we don't see any Jamaicans on this talking about what we have been doing or want to do. We see Israelis and Chinese and Americans invited to address a conference. I don't know whether it's to teach us, although I think there are many who would say we have a lot to teach others. Manly West, Dr. Lowe, those persons have already shone a light that could be followed. So we have really put this petition out at change.org because we've got a lot of support from very interesting people, as a matter of fact, saying that first of all, the first step to be taken must be the wiping of the records, and then the setting up of an independent Jamaican People's Cannabis Council that will be run by the people exclusively, not by politicians. I think that's a great danger we are all very afraid of at the moment. Not that we have anything against politicians, they have a job to do, and we love them for that. But ganja is a business, and we'd like to see the business in the hands of business people who have that experience and business people who are business.
But at the same time, Barbara, while I'm in agreement with everything that you say, but in the hands of business people, what has been the history of those business people? So you asked me earlier that you thought...
It's the business that's been happening in Jamaica for 40 years.
We do not want to impose this, Barbara, because it is veering a little from where you're going. You know why we're here tonight, Barbara? We started the discussion, while we're here in terms of an accept that it is no small group. It is no small group. We are here to inspire the different parishes to get involved in organizing their own groups.
Well, I would love to hear that.
Allow me. I don't know. No, man. Just listen. I am trying to tell you, I listen to you, Barbara. I listen to you. I am replying in terms of the question that you said. And what we discuss is that even the opening of the show, we have a brother that will come on who is an independent from St. Anne. Good. I will talk about what's going on in St. Thomas in terms of what Ras Miguel is telling us. So, what is happening? So,
what you're saying is my conversation is unnecessary?
No, I'm not saying that it is unnecessary. Allow me to say what I have to say. I am saying that what we need, what we need is for people to go out there to do the work. I do not care who want to keep any conference. Good. I do not care who keep any conference. No, Barbara, you have this thing that you don't like to listen to anybody. And if you do not want to listen, I already hear what you have to say. I am responding, Barbara. If you are going to listen to me, I am going to ask you.
No, just a minute. You've invited me to speak on the program. We've been listening for the past hour.
We will proceed to talk in terms of what we are here to do tonight. Right? We will proceed to do that. It's a very simple thing. We are not here to quarrel with anybody. We are not here to discuss anybody who is doing things that we disagree with. We are here to do what we want to do. And everybody in Jamaica is free to organize their activities. We are not against that. And we are here tonight. As when we opened, we said, this ganja issue is a popular issue in Jamaica. And we are going to deal with it in such a way that it become like a river. And we will take on other issues. We hear you. We support your petition. And all I'm saying, you're in it for 40 years. You continue to do the struggle. Don't leave it on any other people, because I know from 1999 to 2010 come up, very few people participated in that kind of activity. And we welcome everybody, the Chinese, the Indians, whoever want to keep their meetings. Because I started out earlier by saying, all we like to do in this country is quarrel with people and talk about what people are doing. We are focusing on what we are doing. Good? We spoke earlier about this whole question of industrialization. I said, Ras Harvey, the people in Western Europe are the largest consumer of ash oil. When we are looking what we are doing in Jamaica now, we are not just talking about making money and almost get money, you know. Because the business people in this country who know if we use money have never used it creatively for our interests or for the national interest in this country. I am not going to take it on myself to say to people who go and produce and export ganja to allow any business people. I am going to say, let us create a foundation for this kind of discussion and see the evolution that probably this ganja debate in terms of a marketing board can help to solve the problem in agriculture in this country today, where we talk about boards and this kind of situation in terms of getting things to sell and who is responsible for it. It is not for me and you right now to sit down and say who must be responsible for anything. What we need to do more than ever is to get the mobilization out. So we hope that Ras Harvey organization, the different independent organization, will support this kind of petition drive. And we're supposed to be hearing from Ras Amin that we'll try to get from Ras Amin. But one of the things that I think that we probably owe is that Ras Harvey has started his organization, and probably it is important to give us the background, Ras Harvey, against what background you started it, and can you also include the critique on that document that you have right there before you, Ras Harvey, if it is a part of that kind of situation. Thank you.
Well, thanks. Well, one of the first concern is that, like I said, I have always been there agitating for the decriminalization of marijuana. And not just because I'm a Rastaman, but I have seen where, you know, the average grassroots youth have paid a price for using herb. You know, I used to live in the ghettos in Kingston, you know, over by Rhineland, over on the south side, and I remember in the 70s how police used to come and just treat you just for a little spliff. Police would shoot a youth for a little spliff. You know what I mean? Anyway, after this, you know, Washington and Colorado thing, and I have been, you know, meeting Negril all the time, and I remember years gone by when some doctors and lawyers came from California and from Holland. We had a meeting in Negril at the Cultural Center. Remember the Negril Chamber of Commerce was there, and the president at the time for the Negril Chamber of Commerce was agitating for even 3 days to be in Negril, wearing, you know, anybody who wants to come and buy them her black, white, pink, and so on.
So is it the council, Negril Chamber of Commerce?
Yes, the president. President for the Chamber of Commerce at the time, because they were looking at what was happening in Holland.
Mm-hmm. As a destination.
Right.
Yes. Right.
And knowing that the quality herb that Westmoreland produces, they were saying that at least this would be, in other words, you use it like a guinea pig then. You 3 days and see what would happen. Because the president and the chamber at the time was sure that would bring in a lot of tourists. And if 3 days can't bring an X amount of money, then, you know what I mean? But anyway,
so we'll go to the commercial break, right, and we'll get back to that popular destination, Negril, regarding coffee clubs or herb. Yes, welcome back to the Cutting Edge. Louis Maistan sitting in for Muta Baruka, who is on his African tour, and Rasa V, Dr. Green. We will get back to Rasa V to continue, because Rasa V is going to share with us in terms of the evolution of the Westmoreland organization. Then we'll get to Dr. Green, who will speak about the potential, and then we'll try to get Ras Amin to come in. But just before Rasa V, I just want to say to the listeners that there are a lot of things going on in this country, a lot of things that are nasty, and there are things that we're not going to bring it on the radio. And we're not going to use the radio time to talk about who is not doing what. Because you notice we don't start out to that kind of thing. I believe that we as a people need to stop quarreling about what other people are not doing. And we go and just do. Let us say what we are doing and work on it genuinely, you know. It's not who I do this thing for 40 years. It's who is doing it. Whether it is now or whether it is then. All of us will come together. Let me repeat one thing. There is a popular movement that is emerging in Jamaica, and it is out of this ganja debate, and it is not going to be led by anybody. It is going to be led by the people themselves. And I want you to watch what is going on. Rasa, we spoke about British Columbia, where there's a people's movement on the ground. True. But I want to relate it to something. In the United States of America, history is very important, you know. History is very important. And nobody cannot tell me so the ganja law and racist. So I no look talking. Me talk from knowledge. Me not talk from wishful thinking. Good? In the United States of America, none of the 100 senators support anything with marijuana. Neither the 50 governor. But President Obama, in fact, they said the last 3 sitting presidents smoke herb. Mm-hmm. Obama said smoke herb. Obama make even a more profound statement comparing it with alcohol. Right? In terms of that kind of situation. But what is happening in America is that there's a grassroots movement in America that is leading the politician. 21 states, 14 states, and 2 states. And then we see the same thing emerging. Ras?
True.
Yes.
Yeah, so even before I touch that, I just want to quickly say that I within the Rastafari Coral Garden Committee will be having a function on the 22nd of this month at the Western Campus, the University of Western, the Western Jamaica Campus, and that is to launch or to continue the education of the masses of the people, where the atrocities that Rastafarians have faced over the years inclusive of Coral Garden, Bakawal, the Pinnacle. We'll be having a panel discussion, and we're inviting everyone to participate. You know, we have lawyers like Mr. Fairclough, we have Michael Erskine, who is president for the Cornwall Bar Association. We have, but we'll be having a vibrant panel discussion, and we want our people, because we're submitting a petition to the government, because for too long, I and I, as Rastafarians and grassroots people, have been undergoing all type of discrimination, all type of oppression, and the herb, the ganja plant, is one of the things that I and I have been persecuted for.
Right. Now, Ras, we have Ras Amin on the line.
Yeah.
And since you're going to be here,
yeah, man,
we'll continue your thing. Ras Amin?
Yes, blessed love.
Blessed love, good night.
Yeah.
We are here with Dr. Green from St. Ann, Ras IFV from Westmoreland.
Blessed Ras.
And what we are really discussing, what we're trying to do is really to do some public education and to encourage people in all their own communities in whatever way to really come out to defend what is theirs. And what we'd like you to do, if you can share with us in terms of, not, you know, it's no secret or anything, you know, we're trying to work, we're trying at the same time, hoping that the national security will stop harass the people who are in this movement and stuff like that and thing. But, you know, share your experience with us, Ras.
Well, Brother Louis, Doc, IFV, blessed love.
Blessed, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
One thing I missed out, I should have the studio tonight, but things, circumstances.
That's what we understood, yes.
Yeah, beyond control. But I give thanks to the program, and we must say we reach far.
Yes.
Rastafarian, we have to say we give thanks. We reach far. It's a distance we reach that we could be able to on a radio station and discussing the freedom of ganja that was arrested and bound. This plant, the plant, TH, capital T-H-T-E-D, the plant,
yes,
that come to really save humanity in all forms, was so suppressed because with a little handful of elites were international. And I know that one day it would have to surface. It's like anchor. It's like that floater that you put on the sea water to anchor in your boat. It must come. It have to be still come on top, because that is right. Yes, so we just give thanks for this moment. And what I have to say now, some of the things I want to really discuss with the people in Radio Land and the panelists, is that ganja, my topic, we have an organization right up in Brownstown here called St. Ann Independent Ganja Growers. And why we couldn't be left out of it, because as if you know the history of this country, you know, say St. Ann is the maker,
yes,
for ganja, right? So we give thanks that we're able to punch in something here in St. Ann in the start of the whole thing. Ganja now, we talk about ganja, you know, we have a culture. We have a culture in Jamaica where, as you say about ganja, people start look for you discriminatory and things like that. Say, and they walk faster, you know, and stuff like that. So when we say ganja, it's not only for smoking. And nothing, I don't have to apologize to One Love to smoke ganja and smoke it, right, because even the smoke of the ganja is good for the body. Mm-hmm. And some other time we get into all that.
Right.
Right now, we say industry. Right now, I'm sitting in my bedroom here, so now, and in my hanging robe, yes, I have some couple of suit made out of cannabis. I got it from Bridging up there. And it always push me all the while. Say, why Jamaican government can't? She say, and these are the things we just start make some industry and mobilize the people and let the people them have a better life and things. And these people getting reward to keep these people, these African people, African Jamaican people in poverty all their life and misery, killing off one another. So when you look into ganja can, well, let me say this first. I don't like to call it ganja, but that's what they're calling it now. Right. There's another more African name for it, and you can make your research too, which is more comely, right, for this plant. For industry, as I mentioned, my suit there make from the herb. Ganja, then you have a lot of US students up there, and the other big you with it beside it.
All right, Rasamin, we have to take a commercial break. Can you hold on for me, please?
I will always hold on, but if you don't try call me back if this phone shut off.
Will do. Are you there?
Yes, Honorable.
Yes, because you have raised one of the most important points, brethren. Taking industry is the greatest point that you could have ever raised. I imagine you have more. So elaborate on it for me, brethren. Industry.
Yeah. Yes, my brother. But I before I forget this part, I want to put this line in it too. You see, we as a people, we have a phobic. When things is freed up, then we seem to go out of norm and things like that. I am saying I am agreeing with because I formed this organization in St. Ann, and we have thousands of people. Yes, we're ready. But I go through them and say, all right, I'm going to work with 13. And the 13 I'm going to work with now, they are very experienced and disciplined ones and know the aim and objective of this ganja movement. And others can come on later, but they have to go through processing.
Okay.
Because we want people to know, say, we can govern things without this, without crime and violence. We can govern things, and we have to do it.
You know, if I call nobody to come in and say, come bank me money for me because you know about money. You are going to learn how to do business, and this is where Dr. Knife come in.
True. And with discipline,
yes,
as the Honorable Prophet Marcus Garvey would say, with discipline and confidence, we shall rule the world once more again. They know that. All right. The ganja for industry. It's I was saying that these students that is in university and the other one one there. If you don't have the expertise you right in Jamaica, what they should be doing now, what about some scientists who want to change their career because job is struggling here and come on the ganja wagon. Some scientists.
Yes. Take science to the people.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. This is an opportunity.
Right.
Because there's so much industry can be made out of this one plant. Cloth, the seed, the oil, cooking oil, the ganja for fluid gas. Right? Once long ago, it was ganja, gasoline that flying airplane and run a motor vehicle, you could, when the exhaust going on there, so you could inhale it. You know, because it was good for the atmosphere. Still good for the atmosphere. So there's so many things that these students can learn in studying the benefit of this herb, and make industry have clothes out of ganja, shoes out of ganja. You know, and all these things. If you check the internet, you will see the hundreds of different things that ganja can make.
Yes.
And our brethren, Dr. Green was further in the program naming out a few of them that the ganja can make. But study about that and come back to the country and set up factories, and make and put our people to work. Instead of having guns in hand. The one who have guns in hand, where if him have one work for run, go every morning. If he have one work for run, if the youth, I work with them in a city youth there, because I was a builder, building construction. I was there and I work all the hot spot in there with these innocent inner city youth. If they get youth come on to me for work, and I say, but we don't employ people in our work, you know. And things like that, you know, when me look for a man, me see pants, big man. And me shape me, and me say, well, okay, and the brethren. And the brethren, them say, well, I only go me know for fire, you know, king. And me say, all right, me go teach you some things that you can fire and eat food. All right. Me say, all right, you can use shovel door. Them say, yes. Me take 8 of them and me put them in the cement room. Tell them to win, get sound bag from the subcontractor them, and full up all the tear bag cement. And them doing a marvelous work, and then collect them pay. And you nobody to talk about gun. What I'm saying, if the people are devil, there's a saying that my grandmother used to say, devil find hands for idler, find work for idle hands. If a youth know that him have somewhere to earn honest bread, to feed, to stand as a father role in his family, then you talk about cut crime, and they don't want to cut it. For them want to cut it, they would have do that long time to free up the herb. So we say free the herb and free the people.
Yeah,
True.
When you spoke about the industry and you started with that, it's really the significant point in terms of, even from the Marcus Garvey perspective, even from the perspective of Leonard P. Howell, the Rastafarian movement, build your own industry pinnacle as an industrial mission. That example has been there with the Rasta movement. So what is happening now, we are going to open up the line to get some more vibes to see Rastaman, but Rastaman, always remember, said tonight that point, there was the most fundamental point. And would you agree with me, Rastaman, that the enthusiasm and the popularity of this thing and taking technology to the grassroots, you agree with me that we could have transferred some of this to some other plants and to wider agriculture?
Of course.
Good.
What they waiting for?
Right. So, give thanks to the contribution, you see, and we're going to take some calls now, right? All right, Ras? But we'll have more time, opportunity, and I hope that I'll be able to come down and have discussion with your meeting. And hear out the people in the Orange Hill for me, yeah? Okay, that was Ras, in terms of some of the issues, and this was really something really fundamental, because we are going to go open line, but just to say, you know, we really talk about this whole question in terms of how we can, it is science and technology that build a country. Yes. It is not politics and economics. Good? Science. Yes, caller? Good night.
Yeah, for earlier, Louis, yes. I was explaining, you see, one of the reasons why we set up the Westmoreland Hemp and Ganja Farmers Association is to protect the rights of the Rastafarian and grassroots people, because these are the people who are born the brunt of the persecution.
Okay.
And I know that if we don't get ourselves organized, sooner or later, you know, we will be dictated to by people who have never had anything to do with her.
Right. Let me just go to caller and we'll come across. Caller, good night.
Good night.
Yes?
Yeah, I like the program, you know.
Give thanks.
Huh?
Give thanks. Yes.
Yeah, man. I like the program, man.
What about it you like?
Yeah, man. A full time now for the herb legalized, man.
Yes. So what you're thinking on it? What do you think that we can do? What would you like to see? What about the laws? What ideas?
Well, you know that I'm hearing that them out for decriminalization it. You know?
Yes.
But it's a long time now they're fighting it, you know, man. And a full time now, you know, cause it's starting from St. Thomas, you know.
Yes.
Yes, St. Thomas, we go to plant it and we get a lot of fight with law and police. And, you know, if the government can come to a decision now and come to an organization, they can achieve from it and get tax for the country.
Right, you're calling from St. Thomas?
St. Thomas, me from, man.
Okay, very well. So you're saying that
what plant the highest grade over here, you know.
You on?
You know? We plant the highest grade over here, man, from St. Thomas, man, from Sunny Hill.
Yes.
Yeah, man. The organization of Coptic from St. Thomas.
Well, yes, Ras Miguel and I, we spoke about it, but I didn't really hear back from Ras Miguel on this because he had promised to take me out to St. Thomas with the Coptic organization that was being put together. But yeah. I think it's going to be important, my brethren, from St. Thomas, you see? Because next year is going to be the 150th anniversary of the Paul Bogle uprising. Yeah. So whatever organization that you are planning to get together now, this group is going to be, because this is not only about ganja, you know.
No.
It is about we as black people in terms of how we are going to organize ourselves under our own leadership, just like what did take place before 1938. And I just want you to know too, that it was in Surge Island, January 1938, that the 1938 struggle began.
Yes, I am.
Yes. So you have a well-rich history, and we hope that the group will get together. Good?
Yeah, man.
And I want you to think about next year in terms of the Paul Bogle activities. All right,
yes, for real, man, because full-time now, man, and, you know, I help struggle poor people lifestyle.
Right, but hear me now, brethren. Poor people have to start organize themselves.
Yes.
You are going to organize yourself for produce, and you are going to organize yourself for invest money in your family and in your community.
Yes, I am.
So, what? No. So, we're waiting on this thing, you know, but let me tell you this, you know. I have seen poor people get opportunities before, you know. Even at the same St. Thomas there, and even at Westmoreland in the 1970s, you know. Yes. And all poor people do. Mr. Wall up a man in New York get a rich half a ganja and turn poor the next day, no brethren.
For real?
Good. So we want to understand, say, business and industry. And if you don't know if you run business, you know, say we have Dr. Knife now, who is about campaigning into what we call now name social entrepreneurship.
Yes.
You hear me, sir?
Yes, sir.
Good. So if you want to learn some more about this, I want you to go to York and talk to a lady named Mother White. She was a market woman. She used to go to market and train people to sell a market. And they are the best.
Yeah, I'm from that district where Mother White from.
Now tell me, say you come from York, man.
Me from York, I am, man.
All right, well, you up everyone in York tonight, you know. I mean, York is my village, all right?
Yeah, man, my name is Geronimo.
All right, Geronimo.
Yeah, man, Shanti told me the right side of Mother White.
Right side of Mother White.
Yeah, man.
All right. Have a good night. Give thanks to your call. Organize yourself and remember, business are business. All right? Give thanks. Give thanks, Geronimo. Good.
Keep up the good work, see you, man.
Very well, thank you, sir. Good night. Good night. Call on the line.
Aye.
Good night, brethren. Rastafari, yes?
Rastafari, original Rastafari from St. Thomas, Danvers.
Yes, man. Welcome, brother from St. Thomas, yes. In the studio, we have Rasaya V and Dr. Green.
See, Rasaya V.
Yeah, man, give thanks.
Aye. Bless up there. Mutual respect to the eye. See?
Give thanks, yes.
Yes, I the Kochi, the chalice water from the herb there.
Yes.
It's a medicine that you can cure, you know. Yeah, man. They say they cut your water there.
Yes.
You get the green cercia and the single Bible. You know that. You soak that and drink that. That's good for bad blood in here. See?
But like you're talking about a new industry now.
Alright. So many things ganja good. So more know how them a reap down ganja. You know, see it.
What about yourself now in terms of what would you like to see? What is happening in St. Thomas? You're part of anything that is really taking place. You know, whether it's Danvers, Penn, Trinity, Seafood, what is going on? Do you plan to have any kind of organization, any group for participating in this activity?
Well, right now, we have a plan about the sports, you know, a thing like the football, you know. You know, see it, our plan that, you know.
Yeah.
You know, see it. So, we need strength on that, you know, yeah.
All right.
You know, see it.
Yes.
Yeah, because we have a lot of youth over there, have them skill and them talent. You see? So, we need more on it, you know, see it.
So, you need some resources to assist them in their development.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, I am.
Well, Ross, give thanks for thy contribution.
Yes, I
and we'll continue to do the work.
And the next thing again, I say, I am.
Yes, yes.
I talk about, you have to stop reap the ganja because ganja is no harm. Ganja now walk with gun or knife, you know, see it.
Also, you're making a point now that given where we are in terms of the discussion regarding ganja, that the police should stop cutting and burning down ganja plants.
Yeah, because right now ganja no harm.
All right. Now, Rusty, Russ, we have to do some kind of organization. Yes, because even though we talk it, but we need to see if the group of St. Thomas, for example, and you and your club brethren them decide to organize and write one petition to your member of parliament, to your council, and tell them, say, look here, you guys are the lawmakers. We want you to instruct the police who's supposed to enforce the law and say, look here now, uno fi take on a boat. If you don't believe that there's any trade between guns and ganja with 80, I want to take care of that at 80. I want to take care of the sea. But leave the ganja planters alone and those who have them ganja when them catch them. That's what them should do now, is to have a relaxed policy, ain't it?
Yes, I am.
But the only way we'll get it, Bridget, if we organize and do something on it.
Yes, I am. We have to organize that, you know, see it.
Yes.
Yeah, man, because, boy, we don't see it make no sense. It's going to break down the country more. You know, see it.
But Rusty, tell me this now. In a time when neither the government nor private sector, you come from Danvers, Penn, no sir, go?
Yeah, Danvers.
Sergio, I know lockdown, all hillside dead. Half of Danvers, Penn probably dead. Phillipsfield, all them places, Coley. No sir, go?
Yeah.
And then the Goodyear Tire Factory, they come to carry everything alive now, all that dead too.
All right, you see, the man mash up that dead.
So therefore, we need something that we can work with.
All right, the next thing again, a White Horse is believe, you know.
Yes.
Right now, Coptic here too, you know.
Right.
You see it. Right now, Coptic did go on with the little thing and they mash down the airstrip. You know, see it. Coptic yourself, lots of people, you know.
Yes.
You know, see it. Yeah. And the government just come in, I don't know if I'm jealous or what, but in break up everything. You know, see it.
Well, we're hoping to see that the church will be resurrected. You know the technicality, right, with the land?
Yes,
and that people from White Horses will get together. Good?
Yeah.
Because very good soil in White Horses, ain't it, right?
Yeah.
Very good. But all of me I say, Ross, we have to go organize. You see, just like how Ross I have here, I know they are from Westmoreland. Good? And the rest come from St. Anne. Then the St. Thomas, man, them need to have them thing to and stuff like that. You know, publicize it, begin to send petition. The political leaders, them are just dead if when rain fall and flood them come and take pictures and go around, you know, then they're there for work. Yeah. So when you write your MP and say, Mr. Robertson, I want you to go to Parliament to represent us. Ask the police them for back off for our situation. Tell them to get the army and they can monitor the seas and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But you everywhere you go, I go to Westmoreland, brethren.
Yes,
and I see some little youth. Lennox be good. 9 out of 10 youth you ask where you do. Boy, I heard me plant, you know. You're going to South St. Elizabeth are the same thing. In other places. In a St. Anne. And these are remote areas. No other opportunities. And they have seen people send them family to school, start business out of it. And we have also seen rich people in this country who make money out of it too. But when rich people out of it make money, it's no problem. But we are the problem. We must have our form of accumulation. That's how I go?
Yeah, because every department trade and clothes in here.
Yes.
So a lot of things into it.
All right.
Because if you never get 3 green leaf of the ganja there, you know, and put a sauce up and throw the hot water upon it. And throw a spoon.
Okay.
Hello?
Correct.
Yeah, look like, well, give thanks here, Rasty from Danvers, Ben. And there's another call online. Caller, good night.
Yes, greetings.
Greetings, brother.
Yeah, good to be here. You know, as the show continues with the herb, which we know victory is certain, you know, we're confident in that, you know.
Yes.
The herb is good from them time, you know. But, like, you know, we want to give thanks to all those who, you know, have been part of the struggle over the years. We just listen to Sister Makeda, you know, who work alongside her during Brother Dennis Forsyth, was Dennis Forsyth.
Yes.
Experience within the court when he was, you know, defending himself and making that rightful stand for nation, you know, within the scheme of things. And others, you know, and we give thanks. We have come a long way, but we've got a long way to go. And at this point in time, I think that most people who uses the herb and even who produces it are really failing the herb, you know, are really failing the plant.
Are you not?
Failing the plant who produces it. Are really failing the herb, you know, are really failing the plant.
Are you not?
Failing the plant. Failing. F-A-I-L-I-N-G.
Thank you, yes.
Failing the plant.
Right.
You know, people are not taking the stand for a nation. It's not government. People should do things to move the government to do what it ought to do, because remember, within the scheme of things, it is people's actions that dictate who gets in power. And people, you know, people are failing the plan, even up to this point in time. As we speak, you know, people are getting arrested for place, people are still being sentenced to prison, people are still being dragged before the court as we speak.
That's right.
As we speak. You know, you hardly hear it. I always echo, I've said it, and we continue to echo, that no one in the right sense who uses the herb, and, you know, produce the herb, whatever, to go into any court of law and make any plea of guilty. How can you go inside, you use the herb, you produce the herb, you know what the herb is about, and you're going to hear charge reader say, John Brown, Mary Jane, you brought before the cannabis a type of dangerous drug.
So give me a recommendation. What you think should take place now, like how we're having this discussion? What recommendation do you have to give and stuff like that regarding both the court and the police? And if you might want to talk about the budget too, because I imagine we don't have any money, and to be spending so much money upon down ganja field and I keep people in a jail and all of this kind of thing, it must be serious concern. Do you think so?
The people,
yes.
The masses of the people, who is the users and the producers of the herb, the masses of the people, ought to take the stand that ought to be taken. We must defend the herb with all of the goodness that is inside of the herb for us. I want to say it again, we are failing the herb. The people must take the stand that ought to be taken.
All right, my brother, we have to go to the national anthem now at 12 o'clock. This is the radar thing. Give thanks.
About national anthem. That's another crisis.
I know, but we deal with that at another time. But we have to go now at 12 o'clock. Thank you, my brother. One love. Give thanks.
Brothers and sisters, this is Chalice. Join us with respect for our national anthem. Let us stand and defend this wise. Peace and love. Thank you.
Eternal Father,
yeah. This is not a you might say. IRA FM is roots rock reggae. Hear this? And all them other little stations, what me say? I'm really hoping, Rasaiva, that very soon people can walk around this country with whatever. Many countries in the world, they tolerate it and they will tell you a reasonable amount that you have going around. All of these things. But we say, because there are some good things coming out. The first thing is the industry, and we'll leave that for later. But the important thing is when we talk about the last caller, that people need to become more active. What is your view on that?
All right. Well, one very important thing, Louis, and that is why we have to get organized in Westmoreland and trying to use our organization as a source of inspiration to other parishes.
Yes.
That they have themselves get organized, that we can eventually form a national council with members coming from the different.
Like we have the JAS.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
But on a grassroots level.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Because we have intelligent minds. We have doctors coming from grassroots. We have accountants coming from grassroots. So we need to mobilize on that level. But why? Very importantly, is that we have countries. For example, Canada. We have Israel, and we have other countries that want to buy herb from Jamaica, right? But they will not buy herb from a country that it is illegal. They will buy from countries that herb is legal. For example, Uruguay. So Uruguay now is getting a lot of market, right? Now, when we're talking about market, we're talking about people buying 10 million, 20 million US dollars worth of herb one time, These are the type of monies. And 5,000 US and then they talk about millions of dollars. So one of the serious reasons why we need to mobilize is that we need to put pressure on the government. We cannot sit by and wait on the government to act leisurely.
Right.
Because we hear Paul say that before the year end, decriminalization is going to take place. We don't hear anything about it again.
What kind of specific pressure you think that we should put on?
I think that one, you were mentioning petitioning of the members of parliament.
Yes.
But also mobilizing parish to parish, marching, whatever is necessary to show to the government, look, we have waited long enough. We cannot wait any longer.
Yes.
You need to legalize, you need to, we know the government will not just get up and legalize. Something will have to be in place. Some structure, right?
Right.
So, in other words, whatever we have to do, if we keep in a show, the show must be towards pressuring the government.
Yes.
We having a march, or we having a meeting, but it is towards showing the government that we as a people, we are serious about this herb business. We will not sit and wait And by the time we're ready, the market is saturated.
All right. Before we bring in Dr. Green, you see, and I give the number, the open the line, I think the important thing also with petitioning, you see, is in terms of getting people to do things, we also have to do some serious work too.
Yes.
We might have to go and build all of these regulatory things like for medical things and stuff like that. And this is why it is very important. There's a very good thing you say, Ras, I want you, when you get a chance in Westmoreland to look on it, is a 2002 Canadian Senate report. And in terms of how you build a relationship between the people and the government, for the masses themselves to lead this thing. The phone line 974-5051, 974-5079, 974-5043, and 1-888-999-4152. There's a call and line caller. Good night.
Good night, my brother. Respect, man.
Yeah, man. Respect.
Yeah, me just make a contribution. You know, to this whole ganja issue, I see the government have so many people there. Yes, them have doctorate, and them have PhD, and them have all kind of things attached to their name. And the things that are useful to make this country better, none of them is there. None of them is there to say, boy, make we sit down, speak with the people, hear the people's views, and see how best we can go forward. Them more fighting over the spoils, my brother. Mm-hmm. And me think we're sick and tired of both parties of this country. Because some people say they have PhD. I think a deep PhD they have.
What is your recommendation? Because if they are not doing it, what about us? Because we have a responsibility, you know. And sometimes it is because of our inaction why they remain strong. What we are talking, you see, just a minute, you see, before we came on, I was saying to Rasavi, you know, that one of the objectives that I hope we can achieve is that we might be able to get an alliance of people, black people in Jamaica, right? That took place between, say, 35 and 38.
Yeah.
Good? When black people get together and we unite things. Don't bother spend no time on PNP and JLP, you know.
Right.
Let us look right now and say, how can we get in? Because I'm saying to you, it's going to take a lot. The lawyers, them and stuff like that on our side, the doctors, them, come in. Yeah. Let us develop some regulatory measures. How can we go and help the farmers in the country to organize themselves as business people and stuff like that? Good. What recommendations do you have in terms of some of the people who can mobilize them?
My recommendation is the first issue made a hit on.
Yes.
The crime and violence. Look in the US. The US have special forces. They have the CIA. They have different network of securities that target criminality, warfare, terrorism. What does Jamaica have? Once I am 52 years old now, and I remember one time gone, you used to have some policemen in a plain clothes will walk around, and you know, the criminals were fearful. Right. No, criminal is not fearful anymore. You understand me? And I think this is where they fall short. They more to run down the little ganja man, they planting ganja. The taxi man, they hustle out the road, and them leave the criminal to go free. So they need to reconsider them efforts.
I hear what you say about all them CIA and big guns and all of that, you know. But I know that alone America has, you know. America has an economy in which the people can participate and develop themselves.
Right.
And why we are here now, we are saying to people, we want you to organize yourself on the ground, because if we don't produce nothing, all of the big gun and whatever we have will not be able to stop the crime. What it is that causes crime, but I know that we're talking about tonight. We want to say now, how can we advise ourselves as people, organize ourselves, educate ourselves, plan to take our destiny in our own hand? How can we deal with that? What advice do you have to say to the people in the community? Yes.
My advice is to my fellow Jamaicans. Then,
yes, sir.
It's to stop fight and unite. Come together as one.
Right.
Because the infighting between each and every one of us, a fellow Jamaican, that is what keeps us apart. So we need to sit down, have dialogues, educate ourselves.
Right. Have intelligent discussion.
Without education,
yes,
we can't go forward.
Good.
So, a lot of the youths, them, let me see, right now, they're on the corner, them need to try to find themselves in a one little evening class, one little evening school. You have heart that is giving some subjects on one section. We have to participate in these things to help to alleviate the inadequacy that we are now experiencing.
All right, give thanks, brethren. Give thanks, and we will take your we will take your advice. We'll discuss it further. Good, and we look for your participation in future activities. Yes, is there another call online? Good night, caller.
Good night, sir. Good night. I'm Melvin. Good night.
Good night. Yes.
Here. Everything is all right.
Yes.
Yes, sir. Good night.
Yes.
I think you should run for Prime Minister. You know?
I want to come out of this place tonight alive.
Yeah, man, I think you should run for Prime Minister.
Give thanks to the thought, yes.
The views and the things you're saying are definitely on point.
Yes, Brother Melvin. So, how do you think that we can organize the people now, Brother Melvin?
And I'm telling you, man, we need a wake-up call in Jamaica here.
Yes.
We really need a wake-up call.
You see, Brother Melvin, one of the things that we need to do is that we need to be honest to ourselves. One, we need to, when we look in the mirror and we see ourselves, we need to appreciate the truth in the same way. The next thing that we need to do is to ask ourselves, how did we... Hello?
No, man, I'm here, man.
Yes, man. I said, how did we arrive at 1938? Good? We do not have time now to quarrel with politicians, you know, but we know when the tribalism starts. And we know how that takes us. What we want to do and what we have been discussing tonight is how we're getting out into the communities now, among our brothers and our sisters. How little people now are going to find a way to come together and see how them can work out things for the future.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Good. So, anything else, Brother Melvin?
Boy, me hear on hitting all the points already, so I won't even try to overdo it.
Where are you calling from?
We just need the pressure now, right now, to be put on the government. That's all we need.
But when you say, all right, may I tell you a story, say, Melvin? Because when you say we need to put the pressure, that we is the problem thing. Because we know it don't really have any meaning. Because when I say we tomorrow, no, it means to say you go and write a letter or send an email to Parliament.
No, man, me I talk the same organizing that you were talking about.
Yes, man. Yeah, that's the same thing I talk about, you know. Man. Yes, man. So we now must become active.
Yes, man. That's what we're saying, man.
Yeah, but you have to turn off the radio, though, Brother Melvin.
Okay. I won't keep up much of your time here because I'm at work. To tell you the truth, but I heard you talking and man, the whole story just captivated me, man.
All right, give thanks, and I will think about what you said when you started.
Yeah, man, bless up. No, man, definitely, man.
all right, Brother Melvin, give thanks, yeah? Yes, is there another call online? Good night, caller. This is Louis Marston. We have Dr. Green and Rasaya V, yes?
Good night to Virgin Raphael V and Dr. Green.
Yes.
Greetings. Yes.
Good night.
Give thanks, you know.
Am I going through live?
Yeah,
yes, man.
Yeah, man. Quickly, African Liberation Day, May 25th. Yeah. And I want to gather people in my community. And on the 22nd in Montego Bay, I will be at the university to read a certain thing. I'm under the banner of the holiday camp. It is Rastafari Farming Village. It is Renewable Art, Science and Technical Advisory for Farming Village. So we are because I am, and I am because we are, you know.
Yes.
I've spoken on marijuana in Greenwich University and Kent University of Kent in Canterbury in England.
Right.
So I've also co-write and the psychedelics in the book Marijuana. You know, there are a few things out there. So I'm not going to disclose anything, but I'm here, you know.
Okay.
And I go on the name of I Mabrock, and I hopefully meet the ILM on the 22nd.
Hopefully, looking forward to you, Brethren.
Man, I deal with the whole, also renewable art science. So the whole, I mentioned everything I deal with.
See.
In the community, they are the 25th African Liberation. They have written on it in 2005. And I bring it forward to the Virgin, then 1 and 2 Virgin in England.
Yes.
So we have the proposal, them, you know.
All right.
Liberation.
Yeah. So give thanks. And really, Rasa have been. All right, give thanks to the Brethren. Hope you're coming. Is there another caller? Another caller in line. Good night.
Yeah, good night.
Welcome to Cutting Edge.
Yeah, Josh on here, you know.
Yes, Brethren.
Hear me now. Yeah, talk about the ganja business there. First of all, you need to do is ask the government to take the lid off of the ganja.
The lid?
Yeah.
What's that?
The titan never they have on it, man. One little youth I go prison for one split.
Right.
That's foolishness. Take it into the America thing, you know. See, most of the state them are legalized it, you know.
Yeah, most decriminalized to legalize. Yes.
Plus Uruguay, I think.
Sorry, and there are 14 states. There are 14 states that have medical marijuana.
Yes, because you can now actually get it into. I think it was Colorado was the last state. You can get it at a outlet market. They call it medical marijuana.
Yeah, man. You like that, right?
Yeah, man.
Because we have Dr. Green here now, because Dr. Green will tell you we must set up FEMO in a center and later. But, yes.
But because I want to tell you, there was a time when pink eye was going around. And I'll tell you that thing, I personally use boil it.
That thing?
Yeah, man, ganja, man. Boil it and drink it. And next day I was able to see when other people have go salt, water, all kind of stuff. And that was what you were mine.
Yes?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're advocating the medical thing like right away?
Yeah, that is part of it.
Yes.
The next thing, there was some brethren once in St. Anne's. They was making soap. They were making like perfume and things like that out of it. Hats and shirt and all that thing, you know.
In St. Anne?
Yes, man. I don't remember the item names still right now. But they were very prevalent in St. Anne. You see? But one of the things I would like to see still is, you remember this agency where you have named API?
Yes.
Agency for Public Information, now known as the JIS.
That's right.
Why not use that media to educate the nation, and especially the government?
Yes.
Because there was a time when all of us know that ganja was one of the leading foreign exchange earner in Jamaica.
Yes.
And because of when them start to burn it down and what of that. See other people take it and they wise up themselves and now they are floated on top. What happened to us now?
That's right.
We are in trouble because of lack of foreign exchange.
Yes, it's true. I think in the 1980s, I think Mr. Seaga decided that he would break with his American counterpart that he probably had loved so dearly. And said, look here, you know, really had to tolerate it because that's all Jamaica had.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. So because of that, now we have right now. Why you notice now? Because of the lack of foreign exchange, and I'm not saying that they're not a media, because you know the agriculture sector, the backside and all those things. But the ganja was one of the things that bring in so much foreign exchange.
And still is. Rasa, if you want to ask you a question.
I just want to respond to you by saying that the burning down was a deliberate act of U.S. because the ganja, the herb produced in America, was extracting U.S. dollars to Jamaica, helping to stabilize the Jamaican economy. And America couldn't afford that because one way of controlling a person or a country is that you have to make sure that that person or that country stay poor.
Oh, right? So due to you. That's what they're saying.
Yeah. So it was a deliberate plan by America, right, to make sure that herb, the money that will leave America coming to Jamaica because of herb. That
because what happened now? And it physically can be seen. The thing what you call the IMF, you know, say right now, whenever talk about Jamaica pass IMF test and what have you, pass on paper but not in action.
Right.
You don't know that.
No, man, we know that
what is going to be our solution, my brethren, is for us to produce things to sell abroad.
That is what I'm saying. One of the way to go is to ask the government, I just say make a petition to take the lead off of this thing.
That's what we want to do. We want to do it right after the show tomorrow, brethren.
So if you want me to sign it first with me, sign it.
No, man, who's your MP? Where come?
Shiny Robinson, man.
Shiny Robinson?
Yeah.
Then, all right, let me say this to you. It was a pleasure for me, you see, a few weeks ago, to be invited to the JLP headquarters on Belmont Road to talk about ganja issue.
Yes.
And this was before both political leaders from JLP mentioned it in the parliament.
Yes.
And for me, it was very important because you know what is happening, brethren? Ganja is the largest forum for unity of the Jamaican people and any other thing else right now.
And it's not today, but because, that's what I am saying. Because they, like we said, they enslave it then.
Good.
You see? And say, listen, it is not right for us to have, because I don't know if it's the income or what, the money that you to generate. You shouldn't have none. Only me.
Right,
so why is it then that you have the people who still taking the risk and taking it, they're going to prison.
All right. So
justice said, you know,
we are saying now we reach at a point where there should be some kind of toleration. If the parliament say that, they are looking at it, and the parliament is a lawmaker in this country. But you must understand something. If you do not express a concern to parliament, they're not going to say you have a concern.
So that is why I agree with you when you say we need a petition.
Yes.
People to come up and say, listen, man, this is the way to go. We have a Ganja Growers Association of Jamaica.
Yes, that exists.
Group, just like how you have the JUTC.
No. But the national group no exists. You have a group formed in Kingston named the Ganja Growers. But like what you have with Ras IRV, good, and like what the people in St. Anne, the brethren I talked to earlier, that's what we're trying to do now, is to get the people in the different parishes. You see?
To have a uniform group.
Yes, man, and have a national
unity,
thing.
That's true.
Good.
But first of all, when I wait to go still, you have to still, as the brethren said previously, you have to have discipline, you see, in order to carry out this thing. Because you can't just carry it out and say, because this guy will run into it, that guy run it, and then they manipulate the whole system again.
Yeah, we have to have discipline because we really come a far way with it.
Yes,
we reach a far way.
And it has been proven because one time you couldn't come on the radio with this program.
No, not at all.
No, so it means that it's going somewhere.
Yes.
You see, so we have to give thanks. So bless up everyone and give thanks and continue the journey, you know.
Yeah, man, give thanks to your call, man. Give thanks to the call.
Bless.
All right, yes. We're going to a commercial break, and when we come back, we'll still take the calls and we'll have Dr. Green talk how the medical profession can be a part of this campaign too. Thanks much, guys.
Military Link Up in association.
Yes. Welcome back to the Cutting Edge and the discussions, of course, cutting. And what I'd like to start now, and till more calls come in, really, with Dr. Green to tell us the extent to which can the medical practitioners. Now, we have been talking about us, the people on the ground. What about the professionals? Can these professionals in both a professional organization and individual become part of this movement in terms of trying to wake up these political leaders in terms of responding to the calls?
Well, personally, I don't envelop myself in a what you'd call a professional cocoon.
Right.
So I am part of the masses myself. The progressive masses struggling for black liberation. Yes, and therefore, one of the public education, I think, is one of the things we're going to go for. And that is that many people out there still have the perception that when we talk about the ganja, we're just thinking about smoking it.
Right.
So we want to demystify that because, we are looking at a $1 billion industry. We are looking at an educational complex.
And the most dynamic plant.
The most dynamic plant, it has so many potentials there.
Yes.
We mentioned something, but I'm going to give
All right. Think on it, Dr. Green, and let us say hello, caller, good night.
Hello, good night, Dr. Louis, my son.
One love, brethren, one love. Yes, we have Dr. Green and Ras. IRV.
Bless.
Yes.
And the rest of the panel. All right, I'm going to tell you something now. You see where the ganja are concerned?
Yes.
The ganja is the magic one to take Jamaica out of trouble with Jamaica in a year.
Okay.
And I will tell you this. Jamaica grow the best ganja in the Western Hemisphere.
In the world?
And
yes.
In the Western Hemisphere.
Yes.
And back to what you were saying about some argument with Seaga and Ronald Reagan, I'm going to tell you because I remember it.
Yes.
And the PNP is playing politics with ganja, and I will tell you the truth about it. Back in the days, when Reagan was in power and Seaga was in power here,
yes.
Reagan was telling him to destroy ganja. And you know what Seaga said to him? If there is no buyer, there can be no seller. So if nobody no want if it buy, we now go grow it because we not see no market fit. And then go tell like and see a Seaga organized with Reagan to destroy ganja out of Jamaica. 1993 media youth and from political platform with PJ when PJ was just coming in. I remember our member of parliament, Bobby Pickersgill, telling the people that the hills will be green again. Is a trick where them keep on using from black people and black people now learn. And let me tell you this. You see, after the debate between PJ and Seaga and PJ win, let me tell you this, brethren. Less than 3 months after, the helicopter them in the man them ganja field again. Here in a northwest St. Catherine. So let me tell you this. Politicians keep on playing games with this ganja thing, but let me tell you, when I have to motivate the people, I make we have a march. Me not smoke ganja, but me understand the whole circumstances surrounding these things. I'm ready to be a part of the march.
Where are you? What parish you say you're calling from?
I sent on me a call from but I sent Catherine Band, brethren.
Okay.
No. We used to go hills with man, go pick ganja and strip ganja, everything. Because $20 a pound for ganja.
Yeah, there was a march, you see. There was a march, I think, last month. I spoke at the meeting at Trenchtown Culture Yard. And I thought that one of the objectives that they were going to inspire parish-wide marches.
Yes.
Good. So there is that kind of situation. But we understand that everybody in politics, is a brethren, play with different things at different time. Because we allow them to play with it, don't we?
Yes.
Can we find a way now to put some fire at their tails so they can listen to us in terms of what we want? And if you think so, how do you think we can do it?
I bring across to them and me see eye to eye with you.
Yes.
So me I say we have to go motivate the people them island wide and we have a march on these things.
Yes. And we have parish wide marches.
Yes.
Good. And we are going to have these marches with full discipline.
No more compromise and no more delay with this thing.
Right.
Because it's total arms out them a keep up. And then brainwash all of the people on a religious basis too. And I'll come tell people what God wants from what God no want. Then if God never wanted, then it grew up on the earth.
Yes, but I think that what you would add is, Brethren, in this country, there are two truths. There is one PNP truth and there's one JLP truth. What you and I need to do is to turn our back on two truths and know that there can be only one truth. So therefore
me don't already turn my back on them foolishness then where them are dealing with them because me see that already, so them talk certain things when them want the people them to gravitate to them when them want win election. But the truth is me say ganja is not anything where them are talk about ganja.
So we have to go mobilize ourselves, go to educate. Because sometimes when we talk, as one of the brethren said, that people really kind of scorn you. Sometimes people stop and say, the whole you talk about ganja, you want everybody go out there go smoke and get mad and all of this kind of thing. And the first thing that people think about is insanity. The first thing that people think about is that, look here, it doesn't make sense to try to do this kind of thing. People don't even develop an independent thinking. You know something else, brethren? I know, for example, that the people in this country and the political leaders, they do not read. If them did read, them would know what was happening, what would be happening. So therefore, we go and carry the struggle, brethren, and you go out there and support us, and you are going to see we in a sentence some more. All right, we have a next call on the line, and we give thanks to your call, yeah? Yes, good morning. Sir, it's not morning, it's morning. Yes. Good morning, caller. Good morning.
Greetings. Yeah, give thanks.
Yeah, man.
We want to emphasize the hemp.
All right. Do that.
No. Some persons are look at the medical marijuana aspect.
Yes.
I want to look at hemp.
Okay.
Hemp production.
Right.
Because in itself, hemp is multifaceted. And it has none of the THC properties that them claim say them ban ganja for. It don't have no high THC quality. The feed quality is in the fiber weight produce.
Right, the quality, yes.
The oils.
Yes.
You know, them shell out the hemp seed, you know, and sell the hemp heart, package it and sell it as a snack, you know.
Right.
I go in at the health food store and I buy hemp oil from Canada. That is the place where I look to see the discussion go. What is the difference in between hemp and marijuana? Because the medical fraternity is looking at medical marijuana. Them no business in no other aspect of it.
No, that's not exactly so. That's not exactly
the medical fraternity?
No, in fact, you see, there are some people in the medical fraternity who are dealing with hemp also. Because there are other, and Dr. Green will talk about the different kind of cannabinoids, you call them? Cannabinoids, yes, thank you. Cannabinoids, because some people are saying, and in fact, this is what Dr. Lowe is saying, because Dr. Lowe is into this business. I said, okay, we will plant the one that has a low THC content. In fact, in some country, hemp is legal. Because of that situation, it's only Jamaica keep it up. But I'm sure Rasaya V here, his organization is what Ganja and Hemp Association. The Westmoreland Independent Farmers.
Westmoreland Hemp and Ganja Farmers Association.
Yes.
There is a Denry Morgan. Because we was at the Trenchtown Forum.
Okay.
All right.
Yes.
And Denry Morgan won a case.
In New York City, yes?
Good.
Right.
With 25 pounds of herb. 25
at the cost of him, but he had, yes.
Okay.
Right.
And in his defense, him say, I never have nothing commercial. I have it for my spiritual use.
Right.
And I said to Denry, when I see him, I said, I think you would have discussed, I think that is the topic you should have discussed, the spiritual aspect of the herb. Because let us not blindfold ourselves into thinking that it is only a commercial item. It is not. It is more than so.
Yeah, but look here. The laws in New York City, you see, I think it might have been around 1999 or something like that.
Yeah.
New York State law. There was some cases during that time. There were a lot of Jamaicans in prison challenging the right to wear the locks and to smoke religious thing and all of that kind of stuff. So there's a law. I mean, you know, he got caught in a good city. Most of the people are Jews and stuff like that, and they could understand his biblical interpretation and religious thing. But there is in fact a law in New York that just speak only to that aspect of it. One of the things with America, you find that different states, for example, you might have 21 states decriminalized, 2 states legalized, and there are 14 more states that deal with medical, marijuana. So the plant is cannabis sativa, right? It's one plant.
Yes.
It is how you culture it.
Right.
And different places produce different things. For example, when they brought it here, some 1763 or something like that it might be, they found out that the texture, it is a plant, you see, that is affected by, or they call it an ecotype plant. That the texture of the hemp in Jamaica is too thin or too soft to make the rope and the canvas for ships. So, therefore we could go into the clothing industry.
Then the clothing industry,
right.
We're not about no low-end income generation thing. We're talking about you grow your hemp, you produce your fabric, you manufacture your finished product, whether it's a shirt or a t-shirt or what. That is hemp, in my book, Bridging, hemp is food, clothes, and shelter and medication.
Yes.
Because hemp oil have omega 3, 6, and 9 in the ratios that your body need.
Right.
So I would my energy focus on the hemp production as opposed to the being different from medical marijuana. Give thanks.
Okay, good. Give thanks. Yes, you want to continue, Dr. Green, and then we'll get back to Ras IV to deal with the hemp and industrial thing.
Well, actually, the caller, they segue into the same vein that we're in.
Right.
Yeah, because it's all one plant, and, the potential that is there for income earning is, astounding.
Income earning and development because we're talking about the same industrial stuff.
Right, because if you look at it in what you would call it holistically, then you can have high school students doing chemistry can be involved in it, university at all levels, the farmers, in turn, because that even the THC and the CBD content can be varied just by the distance that the seeds are planted apart.
Right.
It's a very sensitive herb, this herb is very unusual. It's very intelligent.
Right.
So this herb responds to distance, it responds to temperature, climate.
Soil.
It also helps the soil and leave the soil in such a way that any crop planted after it, you will get maximum yield.
So what you're saying right now, is that we need a science reform curriculum at the school.
Definitely.
And we need, we're not going to teach science to pass no O level or A level. We're going to teach science so they can go home, go apply, them parents are planting ganja and send them go to school, and them are going to learn the science. And we want to say to Archus and all other training agency, it is time for UNO to begin to train people into science. We have seen it over the world, all over, that if you take science to the everyday lived experience, it is your only way your country is going to develop. Just quickly, Ras IV.
Yes, but Louis, right now,
yes,
that type of science, a certain aspect of that type of science, is being practiced by the people who plant herb,
Yes.
Because guess what?
Yes.
Right now, I know people who are plant herb, and them crossbreed them herb, different strain. So them crossbreed them herb. So the said thing could be done now with hemp and certain type of marijuana, or that we get a certain strain then.
Yes.
Right? Similar to what the youth them do in Colorado.
Right.
Because knowing that you want a certain strain for medicinal purpose, you don't want it with that amount, concentration of THC. But even going back to hemp, I think hemp is legal here, I wouldn't put my head on the block.
No, because the name cannabis sativa, you see, in the legal thing. Because we challenged 1999-2000, Mr. KD Knight, when we just started the alliance and stuff like that, and he said, no, not even him. But there are places, you see, because of the name itself. What is illegal is not just the plant, but also the name. Because this is why you could not even register a product that make out of it.
All right.
Yes.
I remember, hemp beer used to come from England.
Yes.
Come to Jamaica.
Our purple bottle or green bottle.
Exactly. Right? Now, we also want to say to Westmoreland people more and big up, and we want to say, Dalistan, here I come, here we come on the first Saturday of June at the Dalistan Transport Center, starting at 2 p.m. We're having our next Westmoreland General Hemp and Ganja meeting. So I just want to let you know from now, the 7th of June, that is the first Saturday, at the Dalistan Taxi Center.
All right, and let me give them some numbers and stuff like that, so if they want to call in, then we'll get back to Dr. Green.
Right.
618-0352, 974-5051, 974-5079, 974-5043. And we also want to hear a bridge name in Hanover. And Trevor Craig, you don't know the respect.
Trevor, yeah, man.
See? All right? And again, the people in the hills, I want to heal up the bridge name in Alexandria and the outskirts of Alexandria. I'm Gallimore bridge name. Everybody inside there, so just listen, get yourself organized. And we have another caller in line. Caller, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Hello?
Hello.
Yes, good morning.
Yes, pleasant good morning to all of you people.
Give thanks, sis. Give
I want to
thanks.
talk about the whole ganja thing.
Yes, yes.
I feel that full time if you pull the gate, make the thing go through, you know.
Yes.
Yes, man, because, I mean, as I would say, not only the medicinal part of it, but there are other things they can really make from it. I wonder if these PhD people know that don't even the paper with them write on and the paper with them read books from is help make that.
All right. And the U.S. Constitution may have been written on them paper too, right?
But me I said, to me, I think I said, I didn't, one set of people who didn't really push the thing was like the Rastafarian people them, right?
Yes, yes.
But like the ganja farmer them, when the soldier go up in the ear and cut down them thing, them it left it just cool, them just left it cool.
Mm-hmm.
I guess if them who, I mean, the Pons of Hell, they really come out and talk about it from them time, they didn't know, probably the thing would have read further.
Well,
at one point, it was just like only the Rastafarians them come out and talk about it.
Well,
because let me tell you something.
Yes, yes.
I remember 10 years ago, because me come from country, the west, down the west.
Mm-hmm.
And the ganja farmer, them say, boy, them never really wanted to legalize. And I'm going to tell you where I make them piss up. Them say, not got no value.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I say?
Mm-hmm.
So if them, they come out from them time, they push for the gate school. Because when you look on the internet, no man, the amount of things that this thing can cure, the amount of money where our government have paid for get certain kind of medicine in the country, like to deal with cancer and stuff. When I was doing the things, I would have got spend the amount of money, we have something in our country. Just run our back door, so I tell it I run our back door, and me run my backyard.
Right. Yes.
You see? You see, so them to pull it, man.
So hear me now. Where you calling from?
But they are sitting now, but me a country girl.
Where you a country girl?
Yes, man.
So what you have to say to the people, and what them need to do to them political leaders? Them need to write
some
some
letters.
letters.
Everybody to do. Everybody
Yes.
have an MP represent them, and they need to go talk to them MP.
Send them letters.
Yes, man. Because
Yes.
you what me I say now.
Yes.
Look for the party here. Look for the amount of weed where you hear the police take away from people.
Just so.
No, me just say no. Listen to you now. Suppose all of the man for just drop them machine and come out of the hills. I don't have more thief on the road.
Right.
You don't have more gunmen out there because people have to eat same way.
Right.
Enough people enough students at our university and different tertiary institutions, them father are ganja planter.
Right.
But enough people don't know that. So me I say, everybody have a representative.
Yes.
They don't need to go to their representative. Same as how when time the representative want to vote, them come to them.
Right.
Them to go to them.
That's right. That's
And
right.
to listen to me, man, this thing here can bring income in the country.
Mm-hmm.
I reduce the kind of stress everybody has faced right now. You
Right.
understand? Because to me, I figure that the young people them gravitate to plant weed more than even plant food.
Yeah. But it's good for we get some of them for plant food as time and plant the herb though, right?
Yeah, I have a problem with that, but me I still look on it that way here. As I say, I come from a country, I know this year.
Right.
You plant tomato now, right?
Yeah.
You have to reap up the tomato and sell it, and if you harvest the tomato today, you can't last for your weed, don't.
Right.
So it's a go rotten, so no market now, they feed same way.
Right.
So me I say majority of younger people them, because I know the old people them like I said, the senior citizens, and them not here do that thing, most of the young people them.
Alright, but my sister, what may I say? You see the same industry business where the bread them are calling and say we're going to bring science and technology to ganja.
Yes.
We want to bring it to tomato too. And to other things. That's why we are say the discussion where we have now, you know, is that it becomes so popular and so useful that we can the same science and technology where we're going to use and process it and make things. Good? You see when you talk about the cancer there, before me come on the program, they want to talk about Guinean, you know. How Guinean can cure what the cancer will kill man the name? Prostate cancer.
Yes.
And look how long we are Guinean when we backyard and thing where we do all kind of thing on it and stuff like that.
But look on the other one where just come in where them they around with what they are. When them call again there.
Moringa.
Yeah. Let me tell you something. Every plant you can think of good for anything there in Jamaica. But we're not really business. We read up on them things.
They say something like 125 different plants, I think, or something like that. Good. But the point, the broader market that they're looking at, you see it's over 100 billion US just for the medicinal
Guinea hen.
Guinea hen. Good. So I hear you, and what we are saying, we would like to use the public education thing with this ganja stuff here.
Public education 101.
Yeah, to the young youth them. And we say, look here now, we want someone to learn some science. Learn it from the elders them. Learn the science of make a child. What if a child sell a Western Europe and stuff like that? Learn the science of really plant the herb in terms of the different species they want, join them up, you want cut them apart, all of this kind of thing. So you see, we are going to have a greater responsibility, you know. And just like say, we just all go and market and show down things on the floor for sell. We are going to go into business and in industry. But we have to fight for it though. Huh?
Even the seed, me have to say a lot of pork, because when you crack the seed, there's nothing there, you know.
Yes, man.
And you can eat that not there, you get a whole heap of things from it third way, you understand me?
And time the rat.
I want the government if you understand, so when people are trying to say, Ray, I know the amigo thing we are talking about, you understand me? I say?
Yes.
Because I guess a lot of the people them who have them PhD are pretty thing wrong, you understand?
Yeah, but we don't want to fight the PhD thing, you know, nothing selfish or personal.
No, we're not saying no, because the laws in the front of them.
I hear you.
Because for them part where them come from, you understand me? I say them just look at everybody with angle ganja and see, so them see a way.
Alright.
So we have to make them know, say, I know, and me go think we are trying to defend, you know, I know that's the way I try to defend.
No man, ganja more than smoking, yes.
You understand?
Yes.
But grandson I keep the program certain way. And you know, the next thing I want to say before I go into?
Right.
Me just want to bother to the people, them say, you see? Teach your children how to be independent.
Yes.
Certain way and stop wait for politics and politics. Because, that's the problem, you know?
Yes.
People still are waiting for handout.
Bolo work and handout.
Yes, and people that try to be responsible. And because people are on for responsibility, that's why what they with JPS happen.
Yes.
And you say, if we keep them more silent, if we keep them more stressed up, and whole power we are going to dead off. Because, look here, the same set of people who come over there, demonstrate the JPS cut off them line, them live beside a neighbor where you TV. What them did do about that?
Yes.
You understand me? So teach your children to be responsible.
Right.
You understand?
Right.
And involved. You understand me? I say? All right. Bless up on yourself. Here.
Give thanks. Yes. Give thanks. Good morning, caller.
Yeah, good morning.
Yes.
Yeah, on the topic of the herbs.
Yes.
That's it's not about just the marijuana. No, we can focus on to become productive, you know.
Right.
Yeah, we have other herbs that we can focus on. But I want to say something about another herb, which is the lime. The lime, where it is intentionally by, I don't know who started first to say lime kill nature. And that perpetuate, go on, we keep passing down to generations, say lime kill nature. So people stay away from lime. Listen, lime having one of the most vital vitamins that's in the vitamin alphabet, which is vitamin C. Yeah. But don't store in the body, because every day the body need a fresh dose of vitamin C. So if the lime, somebody said the lime kill nature and people keep staying away from it, them hurting themselves or harming themselves, because enough man nature dead and them never drink the lime. There's never lime killing nature.
Yes.
That's the best. That's the best. So, something about the herbs is just like how them beat the marijuana same. So something about it is intentional. We have to look at it from the spiritual aspect, as the gentleman would say.
Yeah.
You know?
So, but a doctor tell me, there's a man, a political doctor, him say that him understands the herb kill man nature.
Yeah. The herb, which is marijuana.
Yes. I mean, I say, but how come? Him says, well, I said, that's, but you see the thing in Jamaica, brethren. But so I said this to you. It's easier for people to believe in what is not true than what is true. You may be too young to remember this, you see, but Jamaica is a country where in a Kingston, some is not true than what is true. You may be too young to remember this, you see, but Jamaica is a country where in a Kingston, some time ago, I don't remember if I late 60s or early 70s, that people here say one coffin in a Kingston with a drunk up on it and a grown and look for Mr. Brown. And people are running all over to look for the coffin. People at St. Thomas want to go out and go look. So the whole thing about rumors and anecdotal evidence is very strong in this country, and it's probably because we do not have a science-based country.
Yes.
Science.
But we as the people,
yes,
we as the people who have the knowledge have to share it amongst each other.
That's what we're doing now.
So we give thanks to this platform now where we can share this thing, because people must intake lime like every day, because lime have even calcium, you know.
Good.
That fits for the body structure, which is the bone.
Yes.
And the basic part. I want to say something else about the bleaching.
Right.
I beg my black brother or sister, I got this to say. Your organ, the skin is the largest organ of the whole body.
Right.
And the darker the people is the more sunlight they need in their melanin. The melanin set up as like the solar system, or it absorbs the current and the energy to use it back. Our body absorbs the sun and use it up, which is a vitamin D. So that vitamin needed in the body, and it even helps to heal prostate cancer, the vitamin D, because people lack of vitamin D in their body. It was proven through research. This is Joel Chambers from Central Village.
Give thanks, Richard. Give thanks.
We have to put the input, you know.
Yes.
We have to put in our input.
I will hope that
everybody of every sector of the society have to put their input in order to make it work.
It's everybody's responsibility, my brethren.
Yeah, so we're not time to blame nobody.
Good. No, we're not quarrel with nobody, yeah.
No. You what we said. So the other herbs now, you see even the broomweed and the blessed thistle and the Spanish needle.
Right.
All these other herbs, these herbs can manufacture, they are just as vital as the marijuana, you know.
Right, so
we have to value it and educate the people of the country.
So Joel,
heal yourself.
Yeah, so what we said, you know, when we started out, you know, that is the enthusiasm where we have to take science to ganja. Yeah. We want to encourage them to take it to the other plants, them.
And this is why I call you. This is really why I call you. Because I hear the thing and I love it. But I want to stress on the lime again.
Yes, I hear you.
Man, if you drink more lime and do not kill the nature.
All right, brother, give thanks. Yes.
Vitamin C is a vital vitamin in the body. They do not store. When I say store, I mean like how the protein store in the muscle and the iron in the blood. Live and so forth.
All right, give thanks, Joel. Give thanks.
Yeah, man, give thanks, man.
Good. And as you're calling from St. Catherine, why you people of Colbeck, you know, in a Colbeck Castle. Good?
Yeah, Central Bill wins that. Respect.
All right, one love. Good. Yes. So that was kind of useful in terms of, you see, how we can move the thing from one era. Because what I'm saying now is that something went wrong in this agricultural system. Something went wrong. But you see, all the talk that we talk about government, me remember me see my own eye. You remember I talk about a lady named Mother White in St. Thomas, and the guy said come from that. Mother White used to make coconut oil. Understand me now? And all of these things start out when people used to grate a coconut. Then we watch them our hand mill. Then one lady named Miss Perina from York now come with one little electrical gadget. 1 mile a donkey and mule out our gate, because what used to take 2 days for grate and mill, I'm going to take 15 minutes now. Then Miss Elvin now after a while, by selling so much oil at Coronation Market, she buy her own electrical thing. Now the woman at a factory producing oil.
Excellent.
And then one day, because we're talking about village business now, we're talking about traditional activities now. But why did the police and soldier came there and destroy? Well, another time we called Mother White to tell her story. Then destroyed, wanted to arrest a pregnant woman to take her to jail. Her husband protested and said, I will go to jail. When he went to court, the judge said, why did you destroy the people, place and thing? They did not have any license to produce coconut oil. It is only separate. You see, this is why that argument by Mr. Lockhart is very important. That no law can pass for no one group have any control over anything, and this is why we are here. Good. So you were saying something, you said when come across RV in terms of the medical thing, and you didn't finish talk about. I know you're not in a group, but you know to make some progress.
I mean, definitely. As we said, the educational aspect of it and the agitation, you know, visiting the schools, the community, all aspects is very, very important. You know, I think we set the foundation here and we're going to continue in that vein.
All right, in terms of how we do that, because we are going to say now that people have concerns. And as the brother just called a while ago, say that is everybody thing. So what people might want to say now, Now people are saying that pot smoke may cause lung cancer and thing. What this study here is saying from University of California, they say no. What they found out is that ganja smoke actually protect the lungs. In a very serious way.
No, but for all the research is done.
Yes, yes.
I mean, for all the researches, I've gone through all type of research that has been carried out, including the one you were talking about here in Jamaica between 1968 and
yes.
Done by NIM, National Institute of Mental Health.
Right, they represent Ruben Comitas and Ruben. Yes, they come from that. Right. But hear this now. As the Journal of American Medical Association, cannabinoids in marijuana smoke, quote now, open quote, have been recognized to have potential anti-tumor properties.
Yes.
From Brown University in the United States. Good? No. Anytime you smoke ganja, them say you're worthless and stuff like that. But then the last 3 presidents of the United States, for example, are not worthless people. Many of the people in the 1960s in America, the Rastafarians I knew growing up with, all those persons used to be self-employed people. What we need to look at, what are the factors in society that create this delinquency in our people that make them worthless? What is the role of mass culture, the TV, all of these kind of things, consumerism, but we will deal with that next time. Now, what about underperformance at school? No. With due respect, I must say this, Dr. Wendell Evil, and even though he has a development, he said that there were some boys who smoked ganja before their maths test. They passed the test, but them get 3 for it. And he said, if them never did smoke any ganja, they would get 1 for it. And the problem is that the ganja smoking arrested their critical thinking skills. Well, I did not respond to him at that time because sometimes when you're on a platform, you must know what to do or what not to do. But I would like Dr. Abel to go and look at the philosophy of education in Jamaica, which is led by rote learning. Traditional education in Jamaica. A philosophy that is still alive for people who then believe cannot learn. Majid Amini, a lecturer at the University of the West Indies in Keyville, said that this rote learning, it prevents the development of any creative, critical, and innovative skills. Because all it does is forces the student to memorize.
True.
So when we are going to look for problems regarding things like critical thinking skills, we want to look for how much hours them watch TV for. We want to look for how much hours them on them phone for, walk on the road and listen to all of these things. Those are the things that are having significant negative influence on education and not really ganja smoking. What about they want to say now that people know when the countries them legalize, that people will a lot of people just go out there and smoke ganja. There isn't anything like that.
But
yes.
Right now in Jamaica, anybody want a strip, know if you go get it.
Yes.
It's still illegal. But there's nowhere in a Jamaica do that where you want a strip and you can.
I can't get a strip. Alright, we have another caller on the line. Caller, good morning.
Yes, good morning, elders.
Yes.
Yes, man. Give thanks, you know?
Yes, brethren, give thanks. Yeah?
Yes, and the ganja topic, you know, you see, the Jamaican people, and we have suffered too long, you know, because I call you from Rhode Island right now, you know.
Very well, thanks, yes.
And in the state of Rhode Island, you're free to have an ounce of marijuana at any given time in your possession. And a large percentage of the ganja that grew in America is grow in a house, meaning on the light. You know the item knowing, we just
yes.
Yeah, we just talk to the message of the people right now. So large percentage of the ganja that grew in America, it grew in a house, in a lighting system. So that means, you know, of that quality there.
Right.
To it, ganja.
That's his son would give it, yes.
Definitely. You understand? So the Jamaican government, we employ them. And we may not know what talking anymore now.
Right.
Jamaican
people them have to stand up right now, not tomorrow or next month.
Yes.
Or next year. We mean right now and take a stand on this thing. The talking and the joking have to stop, my brothers. Right now we have to get this thing going right now.
So
ganja is the solution to all the problem where we have in Jamaica, you know?
No, not at all.
But yes, but we know say on an economical level it can't help we. You understand? Because I remember, you know, I a youth, I a 38 year old, and I remember in the mid-80s when I grew up, I used to see the, you know, the white and the red helicopter come car. Since here people have sentence people and them go holy for ganja and come cut down the herb and them thing there. And when I come to America, I surprised to see how the man them deal with ganja in America while them a cut out, kill out for the ganja in Jamaica. You understand? So we have to get on this thing right away, my brothers.
Right.
Definitely. No more talking. The talking thing now work. You understand? The Jamaican people have to know, say, we always blame the politicians, them, and we put them in.
That's right.
The problem have to lie with we. Because we are employ them and we are say, oh, them bad. That means that we more bad than them. Because we are giving them the job, you know.
And we're giving them the job, but we're not giving them the work to do.
Yeah. You understand? I say, now do the work. Them have to just step aside. Because it clearly that the executive of Jamaica, we are employ them and we are say, oh, them bad. That means that we more bad than them. Because we are giving them the job, you know.
And we're giving them the job, but we're not giving them the work to do.
Yeah. You understand? I say, now do the work. Them have to just step aside. Because it clearly that the executive now do the work. Them have to just step aside. Because it clearly that the executive of Jamaica feel.
People and stuff on the courthouse and things like that, them save a lot of money.
Definitely.
Plus with the farmers themselves,
them want jump on it.
Yes.
You have a whole heap of different status, so them want jump on it. And because you understand, because them look on it not only from a medical point of view, but them look on it from an economical point of view also.
Yes.
You understand?
Yes.
And we not only have to think about America, so we want to do business with America and make them control it. What about, you understand, what about
Mr. World?
What about all these other countries, Canada? We cannot do business with them.
Europe.
Then it's really all these countries, we cannot do business with them, and the whole of them need Jamaica ganja.
All right, so we give thanks, and we know that you in the immigrant community will send your email and stuff like that. And
we always have to do that, man.
Yeah, man. Now make we go on and see what we can do and fight this thing and get it going. And listen, because since you mentioned...
Yeah, because one of the problems, you know, we don't know, say, boy, if ganja legalize them, as to what about the poor man, the poor man probably go get big. And the whole thing is just to control the masses of the people.
Right.
So then, you understand? So that's one of the things, too.
Well, this is why we have to inspire... This is why, brethren, we inspire the poor man now to stand up. Stand up at least, because we don't want what Jeremiah 8:27 take place. The harvest has passed, the summer has ended, and we are not saved. This is time I know certain go work, my brother. Give thanks to the call, my brethren, and listening.
Yes, man.
All right? Good?
Yeah, give thanks.
I give thanks to the brother from Rhode Island. Good. Yes. Yeah. Another caller in line? Another caller? Good morning.
Hello?
Good morning. Yes. You on here?
Yeah, bless up.
Yeah, man, welcome to Cutting Edge, yes?
Come on, give my best. I want a special hail of to Dr. Green.
Blessed love.
Yes, Dr. Green. I ask you to address this thing of here, you know, the angle from a churchical angle. I don't like you to tell I like the difference between the wine, the effect, the negative medical effect with the wine that I'm taking at the church as communion. Like, you know, some churches serve bread and wine. So a communion thing, more wine. But I like if you tell I like
the harmful effect for the wine.
Yeah.
Would have on the human body. Comparison to, well, we know the herb no have no harmful effect. but because I say now, like, I don't like the church to be a part of this campaign for the legalization of the herb.
Yeah.
Based on the fact that the church serve wine and bread to them communion. The herb is a plant grown in Jamaica we could use as a wine and also as a bread, as a cake, because the herb is a multi-purpose plant. We can do many things.
Yeah.
And then now from another angle where the church also use olive oil for the healing purpose. Like when they're seeking faith healing, spiritual healing,
right?
They use olive oil for the anointing of the person. So I'd like if we also tell I know the healing benefit of the olive oil.
We are going to take a break and then Dr. Green will respond to your question, Mr. Brethren. But we have to take a break at this point, all right? And he will respond. Yeah. Give thanks. Yeah. One love. Yes.
Sports enthusiasts, fans and all IRFM listeners, be invited to
deliver. Yeah. This is not a you I say. IRFM is roots rock reggae. Hear this. And all them other liquid stations. What me say? A straight reggae. You hear that?
Hello?
Yeah. Bless up.
Yeah, man. Dr. Green is going to respond to your question now. Yes, Dr. Green.
Yeah, Brethren, I'm not certain whether the church are using alcohol. You know, I think most of them might use a kind of semi-fermented grape juice.
Yeah, but that maybe most of them, but you still have some of them where you use regular wine off the counter.
Right. No, but the quantum is also important. If they use a small dose of red wine, like a little tumbler full of red wine,
yeah,
the effect may not be that harmful either. In fact, it have some antioxidant properties and help circulation and so on.
True. Yeah, but what I'm saying, is that, you know, even that small portion of alcohol that it contains, I do again to use not the wine.
Right.
I am just appealing to the church, trying to give the church a reason to be a part of the campaign. considering that they use wine.
Yes.
And the herb can also be converted to a wine with a greater health benefit than any one of the other wines that they use.
Okay.
And also they use a bread.
Yeah.
You know, whatever ingredients in the bread.
Yeah.
The herb can be converted to a bread or a cake.
True.
With a greater health benefit than the bread that they use.
Yes.
I'm talking about the olive oil where they use. You know, most of them use olive oil for whatever reason.
Yeah.
You know, whatever farm. And the herb can also be converted to an oil. For example, you know of an oil where in Jamaica they call them Canadian healing oil.
Right.
And another one in Jamaica named Benjamin healing oil.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't know. You know the ingredients, the basic ingredients in a dose oil compared to ingredients in the herb, the healing properties of the ingredients.
Turn down for what?
No, I don't know.
But, Virgin.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is said that the oil, like he said, olive oil, come from the olive plant, right?
Yeah, I know that. You know.
What happened now? Can you see where the oil drive, right? You see the herb, the marijuana. I as Rastafari constitutionally declare that as I sacrament.
Yeah, but you see the herb, you see the marijuana, that is a plant.
Yeah, no, that's listening out. That's listening out.
Hold on, give me a minute, please. No, please. I'm inside of the studio, I'm on the phone. My colleague can cut off anytime.
All right, go on. Yeah, that's listening out. That's listening out.
Hold on, give me a minute, please. No, please. I'm inside of the studio, I'm on the phone. My colleague can cut off anytime.
All right, go on.
The herb is a plant with an ingredient in it with a benefit for everyone.